Hello Internet, welcome back to the Bus Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 85. My name is Patrick, I'm joined by Saif, say hi.
Yeah, hello.
And Steve, say hi.
Bom, 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 bom.
So normally... Wow, okay, I jumped the gun on that one. My bad. Normally, in this little intro-y preamble, I ask around if anyone did anything related to donuts and or Samsung technology. Go back to previous episodes if you don't understand that reference.
Yes.
But I had someone tap me on the shoulder, a little producer buzzing in my ear, if you will, handing me a sticky note that said, Seth went to, and I don't think we have this in New Zealand, so I need to sound it out. Maxi Bone?
You got it right the first time.
That? Maxi Bone, interesting. Tell me about Maxi Bone, Seth.
Okay, so Maxi Bone is...
me and that guy's wife.
Okay, no.
Hey, high five, Steve.
So Maxi Bone over here
nice.
is an ice cream where it's a rectangular ice cream, and half of it is covered in chocolate with some nuts on it, and the other half
is... It's a Klondike bar.
Yeah, a Klondike bar, basically.
This is probably the worst example of a Maxi Bone that I've ever heard in my entire life. It's an ice cream sandwich. Holy shit, man. One part's a biscuit one part's a chocolate covered one. It's the best of I'd say, you know what? I'm going to say it's a goat of ice creams. There, I said it.
You're almost right, but Golden Gate Time exists.
Yeah, funny. Not really.
Like, legitimately, I think Golden Gate Time's one of the goats of ice creams.
It's alright. It's no Maxi Bone.
Magnum's also pretty top tier.
No, Cornettos.
Okay.
Cornettos are top tier. Oh no, Seth's a drumstick
so
man.
They got a whole trilogy.
Are you a drumstick man, Seth?
Yeah, Cornetto drumsticks are pretty good.
No, he's got big drumstick energy.
There's like Cornetto ice creams and then there's drumsticks. It's not a Cornetto drumsticks, it's one or the other. Which way, Western man?
You ever notice that the only places they sell drumsticks are places where, like, you would just rather not be?
Like swimming carnivals?
like genuinely though, you know what I mean? Like yeah. You walk into somewhere, you're like, man, I really want an ice cream. Boom, Cornetto, easy choice. Anywhere that you're like, man, I really want an ice cream and I really don't want to be here right now, they're like, how would you like a drumstick? Man, I can't wait for all the angry drumsticks like Seth to write into the comments. Anyway, so how was your Maxi Bone? Did you enjoy getting boned? I assume that's what the kids call it.
Yeah, so to give actual real context, the whole reason we're talking about this is because Krispy Kreme's doing this little... Why am I blanking on the word?
Promotion?
That's the one. A little promotion where they do where they do a
Jesus.
Where they do a Maxi Bon flavored donut. I don't know if it's going the other way around where Maxi Bon is doing a Krispy Kreme flavored ice cream. Last time I tried one of those was through the Golden Gate Time one and it was horrible. But this donut is pretty good. Essentially what they've done is they've taken one of their Creamfields donuts, but they've replaced it with a vanilla icing on the inside. Put some Crispit Crumble on one side of the chocolate topping at the top, and then put a big slab of the Maxi Bon biscuit on the other half. And yeah, it's fine. It's like a 7, I want to say. It's not as sweet as the cookies and cream one, which is the one I despise, to everyone else's hatred of me.
Don't know how you think that.
But the icing on the inside is pretty good. I feel like the vanilla taste of it wears away really quickly, and once you get to the biscuit half of it, it does get a little clunky to eat because of just how big the Maxi Bon biscuit is, and it crumbles really easily. But for a one-time try, I didn't hate it.
So the question is, if you had a box of 12, would you rather it be a box of 12 of these or a box of 12 original glazed?
I'd still go for the original glaze. The original glaze are unbeatable.
Yeah, it's like I need to have one of these. The diet started Monday, so naturally, if I close my eyes, I end up at a Krispy Kreme and I just happen to order a Krispy Kreme Maxi Bon, then that is what it is. That's God doing his work.
With the shake for $9, of course.
Yeah, so you get 2 donuts and a shake. So I'll get a cookies and cream one just so Seth like will roll in his grave, and I'll get the Maxibon one, and I'll go like a Chucky.
I mean,
milkshake.
I'm not going to hate it if you eat one, but if you try to force me to eat it, then I'll roll in my grave.
Interesting. Didn't think you were dead, Seth. Making a joke, but
I'm always dying inside your walls.
Is that what that smell is?
No, that's just because you haven't showered in like three days. Not even 3 days. You haven't showered today.
Yeah, that's my business. What goes on in my walls is between me and Seth.
Today is less time than 3 days, Patrick.
Yeah, that's why it's shocking that it smells like a dead body already. Which part of that confused you?
No, well, you saying it like that's cleared it up for me.
This joke's dying.
Yeah, joke, well dead. God, we're only at the intro. We are not off to a good start, boys.
Look, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. If Seth had gotten a Krispy Kreme one, he would have been. Sorry, if he. Hang on, let me rephrase. I'm literally having a fucking heart attack, a panic attack. I'm that angry at Seth right now. Again, I'm remembering the Final Fantasy 16 drama.
What drama? It's not even out yet. It will be by the time this goes up, though.
Yeah, but it would be drama if you went and bought 12 Krispy Kreme cookies and cream donuts and then hated all of them and therefore didn't eat them.
No,
that's what Steve's getting at.
I just realized that the drama he meant was buying the CDs. There's so much Final Fantasy 16 drama. It all gets jumbled up in my head because last week it was him getting shocked that the spoiler cast went for 7 hours. The week before was getting shocked that I bought a CD that I can't listen to on my computer, and then the week before that was finding out I bought the collector's edition. It's just been non-stop.
Game. You've got like four. Whatever, it's fine. It'd be like
breathe, Steve, breathe.
I can't.
Think of Maxibon. Think of Maxibon.
I'm getting worked up.
Think of Maxibon.
I'm gone for a jog.
Think of it stopping your heart. There we go. That'll calm you down.
Num.
This donut's available until the 4th of September, and I think it's worth trying at least one of them before they go away.
Can one of you email me one of them?
Yes.
So take you crumbling it up into an envelope and sending it. You are allowed to mix it with anthrax if you think that will make it more palatable.
Oh, what about asbestos? Like a light sugar coating of asbestos. You gotta
sugar
get that.
Coating of asbestos.
It's got a lot of fiber in it. It's good for digestion.
Interesting. Hang on.
Hang on, let him cook.
Dietary donut. Here we go. The asbestos dietary donut. Okay, well.
This donut is to die for.
Fuck. Okay, well, other than wanting to hurt myself, making me want to hurt myself, what have you been up to this week? Fuck, both of you have.
Steve, no, you said Steve first. Yes, finally.
Yeah, let's go Steve. But you're not any better, Seth, but I'll deal with you in a minute.
My time to finish first is upon us. I have finally, after a long, arduous process, finally finished Tears of the Kingdom last week. My final playtime was 110 hours. Magnifico. Fantastic. Oh, man, you think that game was a Krispy Kreme donut, how it's goated. It's fantastic. Loved it from beginning to end.
Is it an original glazed or is it a chocolate?
Cookies and cream.
Why do you hurt me like this?
I like it. You like it. But yeah, no, I'll get into that a bit later about my thoughts about the finale and stuff. Oh, hang on. I'll get to my thoughts about the finale and stuff. But yeah, fantastic game. What have you been up to, Pat?
What have I been up to? I've seen the Barbie movie. I am now become Barbenheimer, destroyer of box office records. So I'm sure we'll talk about that.
The movies have become the destroyer of your wallet.
True, actually. Yeah, saw them both. Of course, I'm not going to just watch a film without getting a popcorn and a drink. So, yeah, got to do an extra shift at the coal mine to make up for that one. No, played that. Watched that, and I'm sorry, Seth. Are you ready for the 1-2 punch of disappointment?
Yeah, hit me.
I also like crispy and no, I'm kidding. No, I wasn't able to start Final Fantasy 16 this week. I've actually just been just slammed with just everything outside of like Barbie. Barbie was the last good day, and that was the day after we recorded last week. The rest of it's just been, hey, how do you like work? How would you like more work? But I managed to squeeze in another 2 hours, I think, of Remnant 2 over the past week. Man, game just gets better and better. If only it felt this good to play the first time.
That's 2 hours
20
you
hours
could
still going
have spent on a
strong.
tutorial of Final Fantasy 16.
I think my fear is that, yes, it's 2 hours I could have gone through tutorials, but at least at the end of Remnant 2, I have something to show for it after 2 hours. I feel like the only reward I'd get in Final Fantasy 16 is being able to look forward to another 28 hours of tutorials.
Oh, more like 18.
That's not the argument you think it is, Seth. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to, Seth?
The better question is, what haven't I been up to? Because
that's not the better question. Seth, we talked about this. This children listen to this occasionally. You can't just open a segment like that.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been up to it, so
I haven't been near any primary schools, not recently.
You're not allowed to. What an odd thing to say as well.
He's unprompted. Patrick's the one that brought up kids. I have to make sure I let everyone know I haven't been near them. Anyway, what I've been up to is that I also went and saw the Barbie movie, and I was surprised by that movie, to say the least. Also, SummerSlam was this weekend, so I watched some wrestling, and EVO was also this weekend, so I watched some fighting games. And boy, was that a lot of watching fighting games. Jesus Christ, the finals day started at 3 a.m.
Did you actually get up for it?
I did, yes.
Sure.
I won't wake up at 3 a.m. for a Microsoft conference, but I will wake up at 3 a.m. to watch Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
What the fuck would you wake up at 3 a.m. for a Microsoft conference? I didn't know you were the Microsoft fanboy.
Why the fuck would you just wake up at 3 a.m.? Just in general.
Because it's Marvel, baby.
Sleepy nap time.
What? Sleep time. Unironically, though, the girlfriend had to go to work really early this morning. So she got up at 4 a.m. So then I woke up at 4 a.m. So then I just started playing video games at 4:30 a.m. this morning, and then I fell asleep on the couch at 5 a.m. But that is what it is.
You fall asleep on that couch a lot.
Yeah, it's a very comfy lounge. I was just tired. I should have just rolled over in bed and gone back to sleep. But the call of the video games. I love video games so much.
Fair enough, I guess. Cool. Well, now that we know way too much about how our weeks went, and perhaps also a little bit too much of an insight into Steve's sleeping patterns, why don't we? Which I think is the name of the song. Seth, why don't you just roll all of that fighting? To take Tugger and go on some fighting around the world, because the joke is that you're Australian.
Okay.
Yes, South Park reference.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Boom,
cool. Yeah, the Mel Gibson one. Yeah,
that's the one.
Okay, yeah.
Making friends and making songs and fighting around the world.
Yeah, it flew over my head until Steven said South Park episode. I was like, oh yeah, that's that bit. Anyway. Yeah, Evo, start off with that one, I guess. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just this was a really cool event to watch play out. All of the games that did they did top sixes this year for time's sake, because top eights the last few years have been running way too long. And yeah, everything that was played there was really great. Even the games I don't care for all that much or don't watch a whole lot of, they were really fun to watch through. Fun thing though is that out of the 8 games that were played, 6 of them had mirror matches for their grand finals, which is essentially in Mortal Kombat. So the final match was Fujin versus Fujin. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, at one point they had a round that was both teams were using Gogeta, Vegito, and Android 17. And yeah, 6 of the games had mirror matches in their grand finals. It was insane to see that play out. And as the event was going on, more and more people were like, it'd be really funny if every single game ended in mirror matches. But then by the time we hit Guilty Gear, things slowed down and we didn't get it. We stopped the mirror matches. We finally beat them.
I can't believe that you and a whole bunch of other fighting game nerds saw yourself in the mirror and rose above it. It's big for you. I'm proud of you.
Sometimes you have to look the man in the mirror dead in the eye and just be better than who it is.
Yeah, but what if they win?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
We'll get an answer for that, man.
I dread it. I don't want to lose to the man in the mirror.
So you cheat?
We don't call it that. We call it strategic play.
Strategic play. I hate you.
You find the cheese combo and you just let loose with that, don't you?
Of course. If it works, do it. If it annoys the opponent, do it even more.
What if they do it to you though?
Then I hate them and they're shitty.
Yeah, then they're shit players and they should go outside. But if I beat them in a fighting game, they're trash players and should go outside because they don't deserve to play the same game I do.
See, Patrick is getting it.
Yeah.
Patrick understands, and this is why he will be my partner when Project L comes out.
Hang on.
Project L.
Hold up.
Yeah, hold this L.
I didn't realize that the L that Twitter stole from our handle was given to Riot. That I actually don't know if this is an improvement, I'll be honest.
We're going to take 2 of the L's and hold them together to make a W.
I thought you were going to say to make an X. Oh yeah, to make a W. Yeah, no, I can take that. Or we just overlay the 2 L's and then we get a super L and then we cry.
Do you think if we get enough L's, we can make the cool S?
Oh,
yo, no, you can't.
Middle C.
L's are literally like capital L's are, which I'm assuming, which is what you guys are doing. They don't make the Superman S.
No, we just it's all just the single line, Steve. We're just holding sticks. We're gonna take a whole bunch of sticks and then put them together to make a V. V for fuck. We suck at this. Anyway, no, that's cool.
Yeah, I still have a little bit more to say.
Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. How was Project L to watch it?
Oh, actually, after the first day of EVO, when they were doing like their balls, they actually had a after party event where they invited a bunch of top tier players over to Red Bull's bar to do like a I think it was like a 4-hour stream of just watching people play the game and hang out in a bar, and it looks really cool. Like seeing all the top players playing that game and seeing what they're already trying to pull out of it with just like 5 minutes of playtime is really interesting to see. Like the game is dirty and grimy with the moves you can pull off with it, and it's just an exciting game to watch. I'm really hopeful that game's going to take off well.
Take off well in the same way that Multiverses took off well and is now well, I guess technically now no one can play it, but at least before they closed it off completely, very few people played it. Or you mean take off in like a different, more sustainable, better way?
I think that Riot Games is equipped to take on the Multiverses explosion, but I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I think this would be more like a gradual hype cycle. Like it'll take off like.
So they're gonna use a battle pass system. Got it.
Yes, obviously.
I love battle passes.
Mobile game as well, perhaps, or just the battle pass?
Oh god, they have a mobile League of Legends game, don't they?
They do.
Skullgirls also has a mobile game. Oh god, that hurts to think about. No mobile game. None of that.
What, do you not have phones?
I will not curse the people with
What's
that.
wrong with mobile games? So what, people that can't afford consoles aren't allowed to play games? Is that what you're trying to say, Seth?
Yeah,
mobile games are reserved for Genshin Impacts.
I'll answer this for Seth. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
Good. Mobile phone players are not people. If you play a video game on your phone, you know what? Walk in front of a train. There, I said it.
My God.
Had enough.
Moving on from that, I think the last thing I want to add on for EVO was that this was the first year that Street Fighter 6 was a main stage game, and
that's crazy, wasn't it?
Because it's only been out for 2 months. But yeah, like we've had a couple of major events, but EVO was like the it's basically fighting game Christmas, and that's where everyone's pulling out like the big stops for it. And it had some really, really exciting matches. I think even people that weren't into Street Fighter were watching it and were like, oh shit, I think I get why people really like fighting games. So no, that was a really good one to watch. For people that are like kind of interested in seeing anything, I really recommend watching the match between Tokido and Mena RD. Those two played an incredible set and was probably my match of the entire EVO, my favorite match of the entire EVO weekend.
Cool. Did you have a good time?
So, what would you rate EVO out of 10? You watching it online for free?
Do I have to rate it?
No, but it would just be funny.
You know what? Yeah, let's rate it. Let's give it like I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10.
Wow, only an 8? You said that
there were incredible highs, but there was also games I don't care about, and I just kind of watched and decide, like Mortal Kombat. And
wait, Mortal Kombat 1?
No, Mortal Kombat 11, but it's like the 11 is in the middle of Mortal and Kombat, so it's Mortal 11 Kombat.
Ah, so there's 11 characters.
I wish, but that would make it really funny. But no, there's like 30, I think.
I think I made the same joke last week, so I'm going to put down the shovel before I dig us back to exactly where I got to with that last week. But no, that's cool. Any other? I was about to say, what platforms is EVO coming to, just to really fucking.
Oh, to a Twitch and
out.
YouTube service near you.
Oh, there we go. What? Not on Kick? What are they? Like regular terms of service? We
missed Kick, but we somehow landed on Justin.tv.
Good to hear though. I might actually go look up that Street Fighter match. I always like watching little bits of EVO. Fighting games not really my thing, but I really appreciate when there's a good match to watch.
I do enjoy watching it, but like if there's like there's like that Street Fighter 2 video and the guy's on like 1% HP and he just blobs
the perfect combo block.
Yeah, I love seeing that type of thing. But I do enjoy the hype, but I just don't get into it. Maybe this is just my reflexes talking. But I can appreciate how hard it is, but not for me. And watching it, not for me either. But no, power to you, Seth. Power to you.
Yeah. Well, actually, one final note as well is that like all the excitement of EVO, what got me thinking like, oh hey, maybe I'll go next year. Like just for the fun of going to an EVO because I've always been interested in it. I looked up the plane ticket prices and it's like, oh, it's $3,000 for a return ticket to Vegas. That means I'll probably have to save at least $5,000 to have an enjoyable weekend.
It'll be more than that.
Yeah,
accommodation we fucked around the same time.
It'd be 5,000 at least if I can get a hotel room booked with people, because that would save me money on the hotel.
Stay in a 16 share hostel. Mad. Actually, that's unironic advice. Do that. It's always fun. That's what I do. But I've never had a bad experience. So, ever.
But the ever at the end of those evers are giving me some strange vibes that maybe you're hiding something, but I'm not going to push.
Wait for the best.
But yeah, that's EVO all done. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to go if I ever have the money to go, but that doesn't look likely for a while.
But what might look likely in a while is you telling us about wrestling.
All right, I say this every time. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. I'm not going to go over every single match because there's a lot of dud matches in here. SummerSlam was okay. I think I've seen more hate for it
I completely forgot, fellas. I completely forgot the Panthers are playing tonight. Sorry, I got to bring that up. I am the worst fan. I'm a fake fan. Sorry.
How did I know? As soon as he opened his mouth, like, yep, it's a sports game. He's talking about sports ball again, isn't he?
This is why we record on Wednesdays.
Oh, well, it's Thursday today.
I know, but this is why we normally record on Wednesday, so we avoid this.
Who are we playing? Probably someone dumb things. The Sea Eagles. All right, let's go. Kickoff's not for another half an hour, so I won't interrupt for a while. Please continue.
Yeah, so
It'll just be silent.
So to give people context of what SummerSlam is the second biggest show for WWE of the year. It's one of the big four. I've mentioned them before, but the big four are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series in that order, which means the two biggest shows are the two that are going to be in the middle. We go from WrestleMania to SummerSlam. Bit of an odd thing to do, but hey, that's how Vince McMahon rolls. There were quite a few matches. The first thing I'm going to say is that while Logan Paul is decent in the ring as a wrestler, I never want to see him wrestling, and every time he shows up on my screen, I absolutely hate him. And he didn't deserve the win that he got this weekend.
Hang on. Oh, like, wrestling's still fake, isn't it? Like, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, no, that hasn't changed at all.
Cool. So when you say he doesn't
real
deserve
fake
the
wrestling.
win, yeah. So when you say
it's
that
because
he
I
doesn't
personally
deserve
don't
the
like
win,
Logan Paul, and I don't want to see him win.
It's been fixed. His brother Jake's a fucking excellent boxer. I beat Diaz over the weekend. Even though Diaz isn't a boxer anymore, he's an old fella. But yeah, I just wanted to confirm that, like, I didn't fall into a dimension where it was like, no, this wrestling's real. But
no, of course, it's all still fixed, but it should be fixed in that Logan Paul always loses.
He's not even in the ring, he still loses. Technical knockout. Sorry, I interrupted. Go on.
And then we had the conclusion to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, which has been a main event match for the past, well, counting this one, the past 3 pay-per-view events. And it's been insane how much these guys have, like, just been pulling the story along, and by like it's a really shit storyline, but somehow they pulled it off and had a really fantastic end to the storyline where Cody Rhodes ends up beating Brock Lesnar clean, and Brock Lesnar just takes off his gloves, gets like right up into his face, and then extends out his hand for a handshake, and then they embrace. It's big guys rock energy. And yeah, like I'm glad this storyline is finally over and Cody Rhodes can move on to whatever he's going to do next. But Jesus Christ, this was a long thing to put up with for a while, and I'm just glad it's over and it had a good conclusion. We had an MMA match in a WWE ring. We had Shayna Baszler going against Ronda Rousey, and this was the absolute worst match of the night. Imagine trying to prop up an MMA style match, but you're still doing it within the world of WWE wrestling, so you're still getting wrestling holds. You don't even get like the cage around the ring. So you can still escape the ring, and it doesn't count as a loss. It's just like, yeah, okay, get back in the ring before I DQ you, sort of thing. And so it's slow paced, like an MMA matches where where they're trying to feel each other out a little bit, but it doesn't have the real tension of an MMA match because it's still scripted like a wrestling match. So it was the absolute worst thing to watch, and
that sounds fucking terrible. Like,
it was horrid, and so many people. Well, the people that stayed in the crowd were chanting, "This is boring" or "This sucks," and
Jesus,
like a quarter of the arena left to go on their piss break.
Ooh. Yeah, but maybe they're trying to capture the UFC audience. Sorry, the UFC MMA audience.
It's because it's Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey who are both from UFC.
Of course.
Yeah, and so the storyline between them is like Shayna Baszler has a chip on her shoulder because everyone loves Ronda Rousey, and she got to go straight to WWE through the back door. Like, she had a red carpet rolled out for her, while Shayna Baszler, like, after leaving UFC, had to go through developmental and like work her way up the WWE ladder. So she's got like a petty hatred for Ronda and wanted to prove herself against her. And yeah, Shayna Baszler came out of this the winner of the match, but it was a absolute shit show. And it doesn't help that Ronda Rousey has the charisma of a plank of wood, so she can't promo for shit.
Yeah, she doesn't have the But she's used to fighting in MMA. You don't need a personality; you just need to fight, and then She got flogged a couple of times. She left.
Yeah, and in WWE, you need to be able to promo and entertain on the microphone. So she doesn't have that, which is like half of the job, and she's doing it badly.
Still the crowd favorite, but
she absolutely is not. Actually, the WWE fan base hates her.
Oh, I don't hate her.
Yeah, so they've started rolling into that where now she's playing the heel instead of trying to be the forced baby face.
She into feet? That way she used to heel? I'm not apologizing for that, by the way.
I feel like you should. Not only would she absolutely just murder you on the spot if she felt like it.
Oh no, she would. 100%. Like, and that comment would probably she'd look at me funny, and I've wet myself.
Her
100%.
fist would actually go through the back of your skull.
We'd watch a real life Mortal Kombat fatality.
The damage is that bad. You don't even need the X-rays. Just my bones are just exiting my body.
She pulls your skeleton out, shows you the fatality, like to you in front of you with your own skeleton, and then puts it back inside.
Well, she's not in the room with me now, is she? She's not that guy's wife. Is she? Is she?
You keep saying "is she" like it might change the fact that no, she probably isn't. But
okay, well, I wanted to say it again.
Do you want her to be?
No. She'd kill me. I'm talking shit about it.
Well, as long as he admits it.
Question before I go into the next match. I'm going to explain this for the audience anyway. But do either of you know what the Money in the Bank contract is in WWE terms?
Isn't that normally where they do a ladder fight to grab like it's like a ladder fight in a cage or something to grab like a case of money?
You're close. You're very, very close. So what the Money in the Bank is
sorry. There's a ladder fight in a cage, but it's fake because it's wrestling in WWE. Did I get it that time?
You're still close, but not entirely. So remove the cage. It's just a ladder match. What it is like 6 to 8 people fighting in a ladder match, and there's a contract hanging above the ring in a briefcase. And whoever grabs that briefcase has for the next calendar year, they can challenge the champion of their choice at any moment. So it can be during someone's match, it can be after, they can predetermine it, they can just ambush them and then cash it in. It's supposed to be like this catch-all.
They get paid money in the bank.
So what you're saying is rather than paying them a decent wage, they're giving them the equivalent of a pizza party with a sheet of paper.
Yeah, essentially. But if that pizza party came with the chance of getting a promotion because being a champion means you get a pay rise.
I thought you were going to say if the pizza party came with a chance of just randomly king hitting a colleague. And I'm like, hang on.
I mean, essentially that as well, because most of the cash-ins... essentially that, because most of the cash-ins are someone coming, king hitting the champion and then cashing in to pin them while they're down. But yeah, okay, so...
It sounds so petty.
So, to lead off, we had a triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Asuka, who's a women's champion, and Charlotte Flair. This was a decent match with a really shitty ending. At some point in this match, Bianca Belair gets thrown off the top rope, like top turnbuckle, and she slams into the stairs. And I thought this was a legitimate injury because she's ripped her throat apart to yell, "Ah, fuck," on that landing. And then they always have medical people come out to do like bits, like to kayfabe walk them away with their injury. But because she dropped the F-bomb, I thought this was a real injury that was going to actually get her removed from the match, and they were going to have to change the finish on the fly. But no, it ended up being a work. Like they very, very slowly dragged her away from the ring until like a finish situation happened, and then she turned around and like limp sprinted back to the ring to take advantage of the situation. And yeah, so it played out for a little bit longer, and then in the end, Bianca Belair won in a really shitty fashion. But the whole reason they played up that injury angle was because they had Io Sky come out. She's Miss Money in the Bank at this moment, and she cashed in against the injured Bianca Belair and took the championship in like 90 seconds.
Good for her. Did she have fun?
Bianca Io Sky had a lot of fun. You can tell that she's loving it.
Oh, that makes sense then, I guess.
And then the main event is Roman Reigns versus his cousin Jey Uso in one of the shittiest storylines going on at the moment in WWE. It ends in a really shitty way where Jay's twin brother comes in after being gone for like a month on a fake injury. And he comes back, backstabs his brother, and then Roman Reigns picks up the win, which means this storyline is going to get dragged on for a couple more months, and everyone's dreading it because it is the worst thing going on at the family. Sorry, not the family, the business. This whole rivalry is about who gets to be the head of their family, and yeah, it's been boring as shit. Like, there was.
Why don't you just have two heads of the family?
You can't have that because they're all men and their ego gets in the way.
Are they?
I was expecting some sort of reaction to that for some reason.
It's true, but I don't have to. Do you want me to scream up and down and be the white male? What do you mean? What ego? And puff out my chest and raise my shoulders up so I look like a fridge?
No, I was expecting Patrick to like have some sort of like, you know what, that's a fair point sort of
Steve,
comeback.
You'd look like a mini cooler at best.
Would you say I look like an Xbox Series X fridge?
No, you look like the mini Xbox Series X fridge.
You look like the mini Xbox Series X, but it's X after Twitter, not X the like Xbox X.
Oh, so he's flashing and giving people seizures on top of the building.
That, and he's also promised to fight Mark Zuckerberg, but then has to pull out because he might need surgery.
He's not. There is no surgery. He knows he's going to get killed, so he's leaving. Like the first excuse was his mum won't let him, which is insane to use as an excuse. Oh, I've got to get surgery, big fella. Zuckerberg's going to kill you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man.
The surgery is so that he can fit in the coffin when he's done.
Yeah, like, it's just the time. Look, you got me on my Musk rant.
Yeah, to give some context, Jay and Roman Reigns have had matches before, like 2 years ago, where Jay was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really happy to be like the main events guy because I've always just been the tag team guy with my brother." And this was when Roman Reigns was cementing himself as like this big dominating heel, and he just absolutely destroys his cousin in the ring. And they have a couple of matches, and eventually it just turns into Jay giving up and saying, "You're the big guy, you're the top guy of the family," sort of thing. And they've been sitting on that for like 2 years. Since then, Roman Reigns has been having like his entire family like have his back, come to his matches, help him dirty finish and win everything to make sure he's been champion for over 1,000 days. And yeah, like a month and a half ago, it kind of became a enough is enough moment, and the twins backstabbed him and left the group. And that's when Jimmy gets kayfabe injured, and Jay, like a lot of people just want it to be like a general get out of the family sort of feud, and then WWE twisted it into, actually no, Jay really wants to be the head of the family still and is going for the title and Roman Reigns' position as the head of the table, and that just stopped all the momentum for the storyline, and we're not sure where it goes from here, except for maybe they're just going to keep playing it out because it seems like Jay is on his own now, even though Jimmy was the one that pulled the trigger on leaving the group.
I really don't know what to do with this information.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Saif. I don't care. It's time to.
I need to put out the story for anyone that's listening that might be interested. I know you guys don't care, but I don't know.
Do a wrestling cast with them.
I didn't feel right not giving the fine print details until I was done. But yeah, that's SummerSlam. It was a mid-tier event. 5 out of 10.
Are you looking forward to Autumn Slam?
That will be Survivor Series.
Dumb name.
Also, come on, if you're going to do that, you have to come up with another name besides just slapping Slam at the end of it. We got WrestleMania, we got SummerSlam. It could be like Autumn Annihilation.
No, SummerSlam. You just said that you can't just slap the word slam at the end of it.
Yeah, like, but you're doing a continuation. So there's SummerSlam.
How else do you know that it's wrestling?
Autumn Press.
Yeah. I think you need help. Autumn Press. No, you'd call it something fall, because that sounds more wrestling anyway.
Ring fall.
Don't encourage him. Don't just. No.
That was a good one.
All right, no.
Yeah.
Any final words from you, Saif, before we let the guy that I just told to shut up to start talking again?
All right.
No, we can move on and let you talk about a big movie, and then never let Stephen talk again.
You know what? I'm just going to talk about my thing, and if you're listening, it's your own fault.
I'm just going to wave my hands around like this, and if you get hit, it's your own fault.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just going to put my fingers in my ears and start screaming la 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 at the top of my lungs. So then we'll see who can listen to this.
Well, I'm going to say anybody that sticks their fingers in their ears and says la 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 owes me $1.
Shit, he's got me, Seth. I think we have to let him talk.
Checkmate, Patheist.
Hey, I don't want this to happen, all right? I'm powerless here.
All you have to do is avoid saying la 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 la.
With your fingers in your ears.
Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I finished it. Okay, I'm done.
Mad.
No. I'll say I will elaborate further. So I spent 110 hours. Well, I'm
like who asked though?
You did. You literally did. Just like literally 10 seconds ago. Seth, bring up the tapes.
You're not the boss of me. I'll edit what I feel like editing.
Yeah? Well, then I guess this nice, crisp $1 coin will have to go to someone else then.
Hold on. Let him suggest.
Anyway, so I clocked in. My final time was about 117 hours or something. I did over 100 shrines, about 75% of the underground area. I fully upgraded my battery pack thing. I fully upgraded like a couple of armor sets. I didn't burn out. I'm very surprised I didn't burn out in this game. But after about 70 hours or so, it kind of felt, I mean, maybe like 80 hours, it felt like I had seen it all. Like I was just sort of like teleporting between place to place. I'd been to all the big cities. I was just sort of like ticking off the quest. Or if I was like flying around, I'd see a shrine. I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll go there. It's just sort of felt like I was ticking things off for the sake of ticking things off. And that
was around the point where I started feeling limp on Breath of the Wild, where it started feeling like I was just ticking things off.
Yeah, and it got to like a head when I was like probably 100 hours in, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm just like I've done all the main quests. I know there's a final quest that I've got to do to finish the story. Like,
yeah, the shrines at that point are just delaying the ending for you.
Yeah, I've had my armor was all upgraded. I had like a cool armor set that I was wearing. I had like very good materials and stuff. I'd upgraded my weapon catalog thing, so I could hold like 10 weapons or so. Fuck, I hate Koroks. I had like 1.5 rows of heart, so I wasn't in any danger from anything. The biggest danger I had was in like, all right, I'm in the climbing gear to climb a mountain. No shit, I didn't change back and something's hit me. I'm dead. Or taking like 10 hearts of damage or some bullshit. So the only danger was me just getting lazy. But at the same time, that's probably just it's such a good game. And the ending is really good as well. You haven't finished it, have you, Seth?
No, I'm at the point where I finished the 4 like main dungeons, and I can start heading towards the end game. So I don't think I have too much longer left, but it's not a whole lot.
You've still got a bit to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you think it's like you do that 4 and then something happens, but you do 4, like, yeah, and then a couple other things happen as well. I don't really want to spoil it, but like the big surprise, the final fight with Ganondorf. Oh, shock! Is fucking sick. It's like a 3-stage fight, as they always are. I think it's like a genuinely good fight. Like the combat in Tears of the Kingdom is sort of pretty stale and it's easy to master, especially when you're doing like flurry rushes and all that. But the fight with Ganondorf is fantastic. They've really made it in a way that it's like hard, but it's not overly complicated. You know what he's going to do. It's just sort of timing it right. And it's a very nice spin, and I really enjoyed it. The ending's pretty cool as well. It's sort of nice to what's the word I'm looking for?
Give up.
Yeah, well, it's nice to like put it down, like the way that it like finishes everything off. Like it tells the story. Some things happen. It wraps everything up in a neat little bow. While kind of like there's more stuff out there if you want to do it. And usually I'm not a big fan of stories that are like, all right, well, we'll teleport you to like just outside the boss fight. But it does sort of unlock a bunch of like post game stuff that I'm not going to do. But whoa, fantastic game. And you know what? It's also very funny that this game has voice acting, and those voice acting scenes are very good. The animation's good. The voice acting itself is very good. And the scenes are more cinematic. So really makes you think that like just Pokemon is literally shitting the bed in that department.
Honestly, I also think that like just in general, the story this game is telling is so much better than what was in Breath of the Wild.
I disagree with that.
Ooh, interesting.
Now I think the Breath of the Wild story was like, oh shit, what's going on? I've been asleep for 100 years. The world's already in ruin. I fuck with that story.
Bro, that's literally the plot of Avatar.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of amnesia stories, so that's why
No,
Tears of the Kingdom hits me more in the it's just like trying to discover a mystery of what happened to Zelda while we're moving events forward still.
Yeah, but I just find it's like the stakes are like low, like what? So Zelda's not around, who cares type of stuff. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, whoa, man, these big beasts are just shooting lasers into things. And it's not really an amnesia story. It's, well, man, you're gone for 100 years. Where have you been? Or 10 years or whatever it was.
Trapped in an
No, it's 100, but it's also I also count it as an amnesia story because the world doesn't give you any context of what happened, and you've got to go out and find out, well, what happened 100 years ago by unlocking all of Link's memories.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But yeah, no, so overall, Tears of the Kingdom, go to the game. We never give out 10s here, but it's a 9. Well, take of that what you will. But I had a great time.
It's a higher 9 than most 9s.
All 9s are equal, Steph. All 9s are equal.
Yeah, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah, it's literally 1984. Shout back to the last episode. But yeah, no, had a great time.
I don't get it.
I've said it.
Don't worry, in like an hour from now, it'll suddenly hit you right before I sign this out.
Yeah.
What if it's after? Then the audience will never know if I got it.
I think by that point, they'll have already just gotten tired at you that whether or not you get it, they'll just feel sorry for you and move on.
Common Seth moment.
Sweet. Can I get pity money?
No. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. Amazing game. It's still a very strong recommend for me. If you didn't like Breath of the Wild, this is more of the same, but it structures it a bit more, like sort of tells you what to do a bit better. And there's like the abilities kind of lead more to creativity and how you want to traverse the world. But if you really didn't like Breath of the Wild, I'd say stay away from this game. But if you were sort of like mid on Breath of the Wild, I'd say this is a very good improvement. It'd be very hard to go back to Breath of the Wild now, I reckon. Like, even though it's like the same core mechanics, the powers and abilities in this game. And I just think the Ultra Hand building stuff is fantastic. And the Zoanite machines and stuff make traversal so good. Oh, man. But yeah, that's all. Tears of the Kingdom. Go get it. I think it sold like a bajillion copies as well. And it's slowly being kicked out of the high Metacritic stores by Baldur's Gate, but I think just unfortunately, what it is.
Hang on, what do you mean kicked out? Like, if it's a high score, it's a high score, right?
But it's no longer the highest. Baldur's Gate is starting to become the highest.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Like, oh no, Tears of the Kingdom's at 96 while Baldur's Gate's at 97. No. But yeah, it's
touch grass.
No. But yeah, strong recommend from Stephen.
Right before we move on to I guess the last topic of the week, good old Barbie. Are either of you planning on playing Baldur's Gate 3?
I am, but I'm getting it on console.
So the PlayStation version get delayed because of the unfathomably based. You're welcome, Steph. Thank you, PC players, for beta testing for us.
I was literally just about to say that. I had my mouth open, ready to talk, and you just took it from me. It's not even coming to your console. Why did you take it?
It is coming. It's coming to Xbox eventually, like in 2024 or something, because they got to do testing for the Series S. It's the Series S is holding it back, some might say. But that's enough about that.
Right. Well,
how's Barbie?
That there isn't enough of movies about plastic dolls. Am I right, Seth? Hey, listeners. It's me, Patrick, probably cutting off old Patrick speaking about Barbie, or rather soon to. Unfortunately, something happened where my audio just kind of stopped recording, so Seth's done an absolute amazing job to get it sounding as clean as it is, but it's not quite what you'd expect in the normal, delicious sounding voice that like you're hearing right now. So apologies for that, but it's only for like a 15-minute block, so feel free to either skip forward or just bear with it for a bit, and it'll be back to normal for once we jump back into the news. So anyway, apologies and enjoy.
Hold on.
Am I right, Seth?
There isn't enough, but there is one from my childhood that I absolutely love.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, go on.
I think it's Toy Soldiers. Oh,
never heard of it. You mean G.I. Joe, the live action remake?
Small Soldiers. Small Soldiers was a really cool movie from my childhood, and it was all about action figures coming to life and doing a mini war with each other in like suburban America.
Oh, okay. I, again, don't really know what to do with that, but thank you for sharing yet more facts that really should inform more of my opinion of you, but I honestly don't know if they, I don't know if it's a case of me not caring or a case of me hearing so many of these, so I'm just not sure which is which anymore.
Listen, you brought up movies about plastic figures, and I had to hit you with one from 1998.
Sure. Right. Well, why don't I hit you with one from 3 weeks ago? Well, yeah, a month ago. That's safest. Greta Gerwig, actually, it only came out in the last day or so. First solo female director to hit $1 billion at the box office.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, unfathomably based. The other piece of news, which I think is funny that we're just going to front load this before talking about the movie itself. The success of this movie was so good that Mattel decided that actually, what's IP if we can't turn it into a live action film? So they've greenlit, I think, 40 films or so, all based on other random parts of Mattel IP.
None of them are going to make it as well as Barbie did. One, because Barbie as an IP now, Barbie as an IP is massive, but also Barbie as a movie hit really deep. Like it was a legitimately amazing movie.
We could be staring down the barrel of the $1 billion box office smash hit, dark and gritty J.J. Abrams Hot Wheels movie. I'm just saying.
We already have that. It's called Fast and the Furious.
No, we already have that. It's called Speed Racer from 2011.
That movie is goated. Speed Racer. Surely that's
Speed
not 2011.
Racer, everything is goated.
No, that's not the animation. Oh, right, the Panther scored. Very cool. But no, that Speed Racing movie is... I get the feeling like I was very young, or teenager when I saw it, and the only thing I was thinking of when I watched this movie is like, is this what drugs is? But yeah. I don't know what you're doing.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were thinking that.
Did not say that.
First of all, Steve, have you seen the Barbie film?
I have not. No, sorry, I was talking before, but my mic was on.
Ah.
I missed the moment.
I see. I see. Do you plan on seeing it?
Yes, but...
Yeah, where's the butt? Show me the butt. Actually, don't show me the butt. Just tell me about the butt.
It's full of cellulite.
That's a Barbie reference.
Oh, yeah. I will see it, but I will not see it in theaters.
Wow. Rude. But...
Patrick, kill this man. He is putting your job at jeopardy.
He is. He really is. No,
you saw it for me like 5 times.
In fact, I may have to see it a second time to make up for Steven's severe lack of dedication to Patrick.
His indiscretion.
What is this? The vegan argument? Gee, that's not how it works.
Watch me just go buy up extra meat just to throw into the trash.
Psychotic behavior, Seth. What are you
For every 3 viewings of Barbie I see equals 1 Steven viewing.
Equals 1 pack of hot dogs that Seth will purchase, eat one of, and then discard the rest.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to pirate this movie 4 times to offset you buying the ticket. That's how it works, right?
How dare you?
Pirate movie 100 times, it loses $5 million.
Stonks.
Actually, I know that we keep saying we're going to talk about the Barbie film, but that just reminds me of the great episode of Darknet Diaries came out talking about good old Gary Bowser and that whole situation. Very funny. Nintendo's like, hey, we think that you owe us this much. Based on the number of, apparently, their calculations, people bought 2.8 less games when they had free access, when they had access to like free and pirated games, which is just a funny number to like throw out. Anyway, so the reason I ask whether or not you've seen the Barbie film, I'm not going to bother talking about what the Barbie film is.
Shout out to Darknet Diaries, actually. No, I thought you were going to do it. No, shout out to Darknet Diaries. Fantastic podcast. Good recommendation, Pat.
Thank you. Hopefully they shout us out.
I'll have to give them a listen and then send them an audience question so they know we exist.
Yeah, exactly. What's your favorite episode of FTL? Anyway, so the reason I ask whether or not you've seen it is because I verbally committed to doing the Barbenheimer thing. Not on the same day. That was going to be too much. But to just see both in cinemas. And so someone who I was doing the Barbenheimer I said the Barbenheimer challenge, it sounds like a TikTok thing. But doing Barbenheimer with a friend of mine, and they reminded me, they were like, hey, they started with Barbie, I started with Oppenheimer, and then we swapped over. And so they were like, hey, I'm watching Oppenheimer this weekend. I hope you're keeping up your end of the bargain. And I was like, shit, fair enough. The thing was, everyone told me that Barbie was a great film, but no one could tell me what Barbie was a film about other than it had Barbie in it. And what's really funny is that
I'm appreciative of my friends doing that same thing where they said it was an amazing movie. I had to see to understand why it was amazing and didn't give me any context outside of that.
Yeah, but what's funny is I, now having seen the film, don't think I could succinctly tell Steve what the Barbie film is about.
I wrote it down to some people where I literally just said, if you laid out this film's plot beats, you would think this is a shitpost parody, but it does it with such sincerity and meaning that it turns into a masterpiece of a film.
So is it like from what the trailers I've seen, it seems to be like one part romantic comedy, one part coming of age story, one part product advertising. Is that what it is?
It's so like you're not wrong, but there's so many other one parts of. It's really hard to nail down.
What if you took the coming of age story and just turned it into meaning of life?
Kinda.
Okay, to give a slight spoiler to the first 5 minutes of the movie, they show how perfect of a world the Barbie world is, and then the entire illusion breaks where in the middle of a party, Margot Robbie Barbie just suddenly blurts out, "Hey, do you all ever think about dying?" And it just stops everyone in their tracks, and they all just give her this like really weird look because it's so out of nowhere and not a Barbie world thing to do. So she has to keep it under wraps again and like keep the vibe going again. And then the next morning, her entire life starts falling apart because something's wrong and she's thinking about death and she can't stop thinking about death.
So what's funny is I've seen the trailer many times just because, you know, where I work, we just have trailers playing on a screen nearby.
Do you really?
Regularly. Yeah, we do.
And are they like with the sound on?
No, just muted, but like you tend to figure out what the sound is pretty like sometimes there'll be like sound on for one of them and then it'll be the same trailer without sound. You'll be like, okay, I remember the sound from the first time. The point being, it was always that clip of Margot Robbie just in the Barbie car, just going hi Barbie, just that back and forth hi Barbie for like a minute. And so when Margot Robbie does the anyone else think about death, I'm like, oh man, this is just going to be a fucking cringe fest. And when it flips to the next day and her life starts falling apart, it was like, hang on, this is not the direction I expected this to go. It's pulled me back in. And it just gets better and better from there. But like, yeah, it was so close to just hitting me with the oh man, I'm locked in here for the next couple hours and I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this too. Son of a bitch, it's going a lot better than I gave it credit for based on the trailers and things that I'd seen.
It's a cringe thing to say, but it is literally a movie about living in a society and what that means.
Yeah.
What a cringe thing to say.
Yeah, exactly. One of the other things that it hits you with pretty early on is that there is a narrator in the story, and so she makes a fairly large appearance early on, and then is silent for the majority of the film, and then comes back in a couple little bits towards the end.
Yeah, she just kind of pops in every now and then to keep you reminded that she exists until it's her time to make some punctual comments.
Pretty much. And so what's excellent is that she's giving you context for like these are Barbies, they're perfect, and describes Barbies. These are Kens, describes Ken, and then just goes to Michael Cera, and this is Alan. There are no multiples, it's just Alan. and
also, just on that,
poor Michael Cera.
Michael Cera plays such a good Alan.
The thing was, like, he has his time in the spotlight too. It's not like he's just the punchline and then the film moves on. Like he has a role.
And honestly, it's really funny because Barbies treat Alan better than they treat Kens.
It's true. But me just like me thinking, you know, all these little girls seeing Margot Robbie and all these different Barbies, and they've got like a fairly large representation of all these different sorts of Barbies and things. And then thinking, I don't know if I want to relate to like on one hand, like the idealized Ken being fucking Ryan Gosling, just like the unattainable godlike figure that is.
He's just like me for real.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, Michael Cera.
Did someone say drive?
I drive.
And it's funny because it's like I am definitely closer to an Alan than a Ken, I think, being real with myself. But no, it's a very fun film, and from a I guess from a filmmaking perspective, I can see why it has such wide appeal, and I can see how it's gotten the success it has. And it's honestly kind of mind-blowing that Greta Gerwig had this as the vision, because someone tells me they're making a Barbie film, I would never in a million years expect it to be as good as it is. Like, holy shit.
So we all know about that Ryan Gosling interview where Greta he's being interviewed about being Ken, and he just goes out, gets a picture of a Ken face down in the dirt in his backyard, and then comes back and he goes, "This is a story I want to tell if I'm going to be Ken." I I didn't know what that meant at the time. Like, I just thought it was just him being like really funny about the taking the role of Ken. But no, he like once you know that and go into this movie, he hits that tone perfectly. Like he embodies everything it means to be the Ken that's left behind in the backyard, face down in the dirt.
Yeah. It's really hard to talk about, like, just reviewing the film, because it is the sort of thing that you kind of do, well, for anyone that doesn't know what the film is about and is willing to take a chance on it, I don't know anyone who has done that and hasn't been rewarded for seeing it. Like, I actually don't know anyone, like, I know way too many people who have seen it, because, as I say, $1 billion, like, find 3 people, one of them has probably seen it at least. But I don't know anyone that has disliked it, other than reading about the weird, like, Christian right on I guess Twitter /X.
Oh my god, actually,
cringe, bro. Go outside. It's a movie. This movie has feminist tropes in it. No.
I've seen people turn that around.
What are we doing here?
So trying not to give any spoilers away, I've seen people go like, oh wow, it's really funny to see all the people that thought this was going to be woke garbage just disappear, and then like 1 million people that are like bald with sunglasses as their profile pictures come in and go, what do you mean it's woke? This is actually such a fantastic movie to show off why men rule.
Actually,
it's patriarchy supreme.
I need to look up a
Go woke, go broke says movie that made $1 billion.
True, actually.
Yeah.
No, one of the best things to come out of that was that Ben Shapiro thought he was taking the cold, thought he was doing a cold take by saying that he didn't like it and he was going to explain why. But the internet did one better and just absolutely reamed him for it. Like
he didn't like that movie. He didn't like it so much he talked about it for 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Literally lives around. Man sees movie he doesn't think he'll like. Man doesn't like it. Shocked. I'm shocked.
Literally just take the angry video game nerd approach where he's like, he was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to like the new Ghostbusters. So instead of watching it and talking about it, I'm just not going to watch it. And you can't make me review it. I'm just going to leave it.
But it's content. It's content, Seth.
No one wants to see bad content. Actually, I'm going to take that back. People really want to see content of people shitting on things that they hate.
Yeah, but like especially where it's like, oh, it's Ben Shapiro said something. Let's see what he did. Popular thing bad. I think Manly scored again.
So my favorite takedown, Ben Shapiro's. I'm going to call him tweet. Replace it with X if you want, whatever the fuck. But Ben Shapiro's tweet about being dragged to see the Barbie film and him trying to hype up his review for it. And my favorite takedown is someone replying with, they finally make a movie for people who are 12 inches tall with no genitals, and those people don't even like it.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good.
like what do you like? Let's say you are Ben Shapiro. What the fuck do you reply to that with?
You don't engage. Like, don't feed the trolls and all that kind of stuff. Even though he is a troll himself. But
that's the thing. Is that like obviously the best play is not to engage. But just the idea that Ben's sitting there, just every so often he has to think about, fuck, like, I almost had a zinger of a comeback for that, but he still needs to just workshop it a bit more. But yeah,
let him cook.
I feel like this review is just us talking around the Barbie movie for 20 minutes, but yeah.
But it seems like it's such a, and maybe that's because Greta's such a good director that it's hard to conceptualize because it is different to what's expected.
I think my problem is saying anything about what the actual contents of the movie is might ruin the experience of going into it when people just want to go see, well, what is the Barbie movie then?
Yeah, movie about Barbie.
Yeah. I don't want to take the veil off people's eyes. I want them to go see the Barbie movie and have that veil taken off by the movie itself.
I think
I can. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Three times longer than the film.
It won't be 7 hours, but I think it'd actually be pretty interesting to do like an hour spoiler cast on that movie because it is that interesting on what it does.
It is. I think in terms of trying to contextualize it, half of this hype has been the whole Barbenheimer phenomenon, right? I wanted to see Oppenheimer because, as I talked about, I'm not even sure if it was last episode, but episode prior, like my background is physics, so I related to the but if someone shows me a movie about physics, about Barbie, there's one of those that I've just related to more throughout my life, and it's not Barbie, sorry to say.
No.
And so
it's a big surprise you can relate to a guy that dropped the worst weapon of mankind on Japan.
Okay, hang on. But the point being,
it's just like me for real.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The point being, I had a pretty good idea of what the film would be when I said, yes, I'm going to go see Oppenheimer, and the film delivered. And I'm not saying it wasn't surprising or it wasn't eventful or I knew what was going to happen, but my conception of what the film would be had fairly good overlap with what the film that I got was. I had very little conception of what I thought the Barbie film would be, and it had almost no overlap other than the maybe 2 trailer moments that I thought were like fairly entertaining, but didn't give me any clue as to what the film was actually about. There was almost no overlap, and that is definitely a strength rather than a weakness, because I've watched films like that before where I come out disappointed because it wasn't what I thought it was. I came out of this one, and I assume a lot of other people did as well, blown away because of how much it exceeded what I thought it was. Because one of the things that came out from the set beforehand was that they ran out of pink paint, not only for the production design, but they had bought up so much pink paint from like the surrounding area that whatever the back lot they were on, that they were filming on, ended up with like a pinkless paint like radius of like several kilometers or towns because they just absorbed all the pink paint they could. And so me thinking that, going, okay, so what does that mean for how good or bad the film's going to be? It was just kind of one of those like, okay, it's kooky, it's stylized, it's going for more of the, it is marketing itself towards people who are like Barbie. Fine. No, it's just not for me. But now having seen it, it's like, yeah, I can absolutely see how that would happen. And what's more, I can see that the people running the production would be like, no, I don't give a shit where you get the pink paint from. We need more pink paint.
Yeah.
and it's such a like flipped switch way of thinking about that. And it's I've seen Spider-Man 3 times in cinemas, Into the Spider-Verse. Not just me. That would be weird if it was just me going, but like just different people going, I haven't seen Spider-Verse, and me going, okay, well, let's go see it. And I genuinely enjoyed every time that I went to see that. This is another film that I could absolutely see myself going to multiple times, and I know several people who are either intending to or already have seen it multiple times. Highly recommend.
Yeah, this and Spider-Verse are easily like 2 of the best movies to have come out in recent years, I think.
But remember, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is also in that list in the last
Yeah, I still need to see that, but I know that's also a very strong one.
No, it was either right at the end of last year or start of this year.
It was this year. I think it was like
last
March.
Wish, because I saw it on the plane.
No, not March. Earlier. I want to say January, February.
December 21.
21?
Yeah. Sorry, December 21 is in the 21st of December. I'm sorry.
No way. Where did 2022 go? Oh my God. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I thought it might have come out last year. Yeah, that like just in the past year, we've had banger after banger in movies. And then what's funny is we also
hearing very good things about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, but that's not coming out here for another month. I have no idea why the US is getting it a month earlier than us. But yeah, I am seeing people come in.
Oh my God.
I am seeing people come out of that.
That was such an off rip, but that was the perfect comment. Holy shit, Steve.
I was gonna say it, and then Seth just is like, I don't know why it's taking so long.
A legendarily uncommon Stephen W. Holy shit, that was good.
But yeah,
could be a Stephen L for laugh.
Over the last week, I have seen a lot of people come out of that movie saying it's really good. Not to the same level as Barbie and Spider-Man, but still enough for me to be interested in going to go see it.
A heavy hitter, absolutely. Yeah, it's really funny because not trying to divulge too much about my work or anything, but movies do come up when we have like company meetings and things, and in the past couple months is the first time that people presenting for company meetings haven't said it's a sign that things are returning to normal, because we've had such a string of like approaching or surpassing billion-dollar films that it's like, yeah, we're no longer approaching normal, like we're back. It's so obvious that we're back.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I mean, not in the sense that it trickles down to your old favorite host, but
what do you mean? Trickle down economics works.
No, don't say that. No. Seth, don't get any ideas. It doesn't work. So
if the host gets paid a lot, therefore the funny man should get paid, which means the editor will get paid.
The host hang on.
All I'm saying is that the trickle down economics comes from the guillotine.
No, that's the blood trickling down. I mean
the same difference. Blood is money.
I don't know what a perfect film looks like. This certainly approaches that. It's really hard. I cannot think what to fault it on, but I also feel uncomfortable giving a movie a perfect score. So I know we don't do halves, but fuck you, 9.5.
Bastard. Okay, so Oppenheimer or Barbie, which one?
I appreciated both for what they did, and both are very strong as movies, but in terms of the one that I will walk away and tell people to go and see, Barbie. And that's coming from a physicist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to give this a 9. This was incredibly strong, super enjoyable, and I wasn't expecting a Barbie movie to make me think, but it made me think.
It did.
It has so many messages it wants to tell, and it tells them all so well.
Yeah, and it in some ways it actually kind of pisses me off too, because this is like, I think this is Greta's like 3rd or 4th film as director, and it's like, how the fuck? Like, genuinely, how?
She's never want to go as big for as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just every film that she's done, everyone's just like, yeah, no, it's just like a perfect film. Like, bruh. Teach me.
This movie has a moment that's like incredibly touching between Margot Robbie and an old woman at a bus stop, and then later in the movie it transitions into a musical, and it can do that transition super well, and both scenes feel like they absolutely deserve to be in this movie and make 100% total sense.
Not to mention Ryan Gosling has a Mojo Dojo Casa house, and we need to talk about that more.
All right, we talked about this for 30 minutes, fellas. At what point are we just...
That's what I say. I gave it the rating. That was me.
Yeah, I also gave it a rating. I want to get I am Knuff for jumper and mug.
Your name's like Ken, but it's Seth.
But
I'm Seth.
It's the Kenergy it will give.
The Senergy, Sephagy.
Watch out, he's going to drink a monster and punch a wall.
All of us have a Ken inside us. We are all Ken.
It's a film. So one of the film's messages is maybe it's not Barbie and Ken. It's Barbie and it's Ken. And I thought about that. I took that to heart. I'm starting to think that maybe it's no longer it's Patrick and sadness. It's Patrick and it's sadness.
Right, so you're trying to say
you still cry yourself to sleep every night, right?
I absolutely still cry myself to. I'm not saying like, completely divorce the two. I'm just saying like maybe only cry yourself to sleep, like for a few minutes rather than multiple hours. Anyway, we will move on. right before we go to the break, time for our favorite section, which nicely ties together the Round the Lounge and the news for this week. Baldur's Gate 3 has recently come to Steam. I will give you the all-time peak, 814,466 players. God damn! That's quite a few people playing Baldur's Gate 3.
At the same time, even.
At the same time, even, yes. My question is, was it higher or lower than Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? No, I'm kidding. That would...
Higher.
Will Nick All-Star Brawl 2 beat that?
You fucking Steve just seal clapping higher.
We did it. I got to try. Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful try. Beautiful try. But if you're looking for the 24-hour peak, I reckon it's at 300,000. Actually, no. I saw it this morning. I think it was 160. But it's like the middle of the week in the US.
For the 24-hour peak?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, currently it is 646,000.
Oh, fuck, I must have gotten the... My favorite part
was looking at Exoprimal.
100,000 for that game? No, thanks.
You're a little bit off. So
I got the numbers confused. It's 6-4 or not. 4-6. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Good on
so my question, I have in front of me, right? I have in front of me the top 10 games by current players. One of those is Counter-Strike Global Offensive. One of those is Baldur's Gate 3. One of those is Wallpaper Engine. So I will give you the
ghost game.
Yeah, man. I will give you the all-time peak of Wallpaper Engine. Bear in mind, this is still top 10 by current players. Actually, no, fuck that. That doesn't make any sense. The 24-hour... fuck, but that might give it away.
I get the feeling we're losing it, Pat.
No. There's not enough difference. It's fine. 24-hour peak of Wallpaper Engine is 110,804, right? So Baldur's Gate above it. My question is, where is the 24-hour peak for Counter-Strike Global Offensive? Higher or lower than Baldur's Gate 3?
Lower.
Lower?
24-hour peak and not all-time peak?
24-hour peak. So Baldur's Gate 24-hour peak 646, all-time 814. So
yeah, I think it's lower.
So you think that Counter-Strike, the 24-hour peak is lower?
Yeah, I think it's probably hovering around the 500,000 area, 400,000 to 500,000.
Okay, so you both said lower. So Seth saying 400 to 500. Steve, any ballpark? 24-hour peak Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
300 to 400, I guess. 300 to 400.
300 to 400.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah, just people.
It's free.
It's flat lines.
It's free. One of them is that one guy from Babylon's Fall.
So the guy who's on the path of time. He's got more time now.
Yeah, he's just making his way in this world. No, it is 1,163,000 for the 24-hour peak. Which, goddamn.
Yeah, I should have seen that coming, but for some reason I was like, Baldur's Gate is so high. Maybe some of the Steamies have moved from CSGO to play that for a little bit, but
that's what I would have thought as well. And the stat that I actually wanted to compare but would have given it away is that the all-time peak for Baldur's Gate 3 is 814k, right? But playing as of 30 minutes ago, 880k in Global Offensive.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah.
They might not be I get the feeling that people that like isometric RPGs are not the same people playing Counter-Strike.
No, but I'm saying for a game that is very well received and very recent, it's amazing that Counter-Strike, for how old it is still that strong.
Yeah, CSGO, Counter-Strike in general is just one of those forever games that is always doing peak numbers.
It is, but it's just mind-blowing that it's like, because if we were swapped, I would have 100% assumed Baldur's Gate 3 would have just edged Counter-Strike. Anyway, fun little 4 minutes snippet. I'm trying to keep it time boxed, but I hope that was interesting. Hope you learned something.
If you don't mind, Patrick, I'd like to steal the host chair for a second because I too have a game for this week.
Fuck, so, no, you don't. We're going to the break, my guy.
Fuck off, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, okay, what's up?
So this is going to dip into the news a little bit, but recently, Street Fighter 6 has just done a collaboration with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you can dress your avatar up in costumes of the 4 Ninja Turtles. Now, this...
All at once?
No, individually. unfortunately. Unless you're one of those freaks that wants to mix and match certain pieces of them, like have the Leonardo body but the Michelangelo head.
I'll be honest with you, I can't tell the difference. I am quite racist against turtles.
That's total racist of you.
Yeah.
But yes, this is all paid content you have to pay for to get their costumes.
It's a guess the price, isn't it?
It is a guess the price.
Jesus.
I read this article today.
No. Okay, so since Steven knows, Patrick, I want you to guess the prices of these costumes. Remember, there are 4 Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So you are paying for 4 costumes.
The main voice line running through my head is Arrested Development's. How much could it cost? $5. Let's say purely cosmetic. Yeah.
Purely cosmetic.
Is this a price multiplied by 4 for each, or is this a one price for all 4?
Okay, so this will probably give it away a little bit, but it is one price multiplied 4 times. You have to pay once for each of them.
$9.
Unfortunately, Patrick, I have to inform you that the price of each Ninja Turtle is $15 US. Which means to get all 4 Ninja Turtles is the same price as the game.
And then, can you bundle it together? I can't remember that. But
the best it's paid for using the game's in-game premium currency. So the best discount you can get is buying a certain pack and then an extra one, which will put you back $55. So you save $5 for buying the best bundle of the premium pack to try and discount as much as you can for these.
Oh my god.
On top of that, there are also other accessories you can buy. Instead of buying the costumes for $15 each, you could just buy the headbands that they wear for $2 each.
Can you do that with the rest of the cost? Each piece of a costume?
No. The headband is the only other accessory that they have.
That's shit.
I didn't look into how much the emotes cost. It's just the $15.
$15.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it's $5, but the $15 per costume was the one that threw me off the most.
Capcom, you release banger after banger. What are you doing?
I actually an additional note to this game. Rashid's just came out, and if you use your in-game currency to buy Rashid, how much do you think that will put you back? Remember, Rashid is a fully playable character and not just a costume like the Ninja Turtles are.
$10.
We got $10 on Steven. How much do you want to guess, Patrick?
$10.01. Fuck you, Steven.
Unfortunately, since the Price is Right rules is closest without going over, you are both wrong. Rashid costs $7.
Really?
One Ninja Turtle is more than double a fully playable character.
That's amazing. Final thing. Just because I was able to quickly pull up. Jamie, pull that up on the other screen. Exoprimal check-in. Yes, sir. 24-hour peak guesses.
40K. Actually, no, that's way too high.
40.
Sorry. 4K.
I'll give you a hint. I can guarantee you, with an all-time peak of 4.5K, it is not 40K.
Yeah, I don't know why I said 40K. I got excited.
24-hour peak. Hey, bada.
150.
150? All right, we got 150. We got 150. We got 150. What
400.
400. Yeah, we got 400. 400. Any higher? 400. Going once. Going twice. Steve's all right. Sorry, Seth. It's 597 24-hour peak. But if it was Price is Right rules for playing as of a minute ago, 340. So, hey, you were close. You were close. Anyway, shame Exoprimal still in the toilet. We'll check in again next week.
I'm sorry, Exoprimal. You're super fun, but you're just not doing it.
This is why I pay $15 for turtle skins.
Just to put it out there, no, I did not. I saw a video of someone doing a combo exhibitions with each turtle, and then in the comments he pinned, this video cost me $55. Please, please give me some sympathy.
Holy shit, that's so funny, actually. Anyway, we will now move on from Round the Lounge for this week. Thank you to you both. As always, we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is, of course, the news. Saif, you're chomping at the bit to tell us when Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis launches. When is it?
I wouldn't say chomping at a bit, but yeah, it's coming out September 7th, which is pretty soon,
I
actually.
get it because it's Final Fantasy VII and September 7th. Bravo, Square Enix, bravo.
Yeah, Square Enix saw an opportunity to release it on the 7th day of the 7th month, am I right?
It's the 9th month, I'm sorry.
No, but in like an American when it's backwards?
It would still be the 9th month, but it's in the wrong spot of the dates.
So, do me a favor and actually, I was going to say shut the fuck up, but continue telling us about Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis coming, and don't bring up, don't know what month it is.
Yeah, so Ever Crisis is essentially the Final Fantasy remake people wanted, where it's, well, not exactly, because it's being stuck on mobile, but it's a mobile game that's running through the events of basically the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII and doing it in a turn-based RPG system. From what I've seen of it through trailers and other things, it looks pretty good. It's run through 2 closed beta tests, and now they're just going, okay, yeah, we're done. The official release is in a month from now. See you all then. And yeah, I'll check it out because I usually give Final Fantasy gacha games a try for at least an hour.
Cool. Even an hour seems like too much to give any gacha game a go. But fair enough. I don't really have that much of an interest in this, to be honest. I'm actually more likely to play the remakes that no one wanted, but the ones that look pretty on PS5.
Oh, those are fantastic remakes. I highly recommend it.
Steve, anything to add?
No.
No.
Big surprise.
When's it coming to Xbox?
No,
don't do that. Oh no! Now you've made him upset.
No,
Come on,
just
man.
this game just seems like it's trying too hard to consolidate all the Final Fantasy VII lore. I don't think we want it. Thanks for beta testing, Sony.
I mean, it is the final one.
Yeah,
the 7th final one. We're at 16 of them now.
Right, well, I guess we might as well move on. WrestleQuest, the game that we all probably know and definitely love, being delayed till August 22. This one, normally, when there's a game that's so close to release and then has to get pushed back, I would say that it's a sign that the game is undergoing a lot of issues because it needs more development time. But this is one of the rare exceptions where they tell us exactly what it is that they found. The statement from Megacat Studios saying, we discovered that it is possible for players to lose save game progress when playing WrestleQuest on multiple different devices. And I actually quite like this next bit. Because this is a game filled with hours of content and player progress is so important, we could never body slam our fans like that. And honestly, base response. This is the sort of thing that would absolutely kill a launch because it's releasing on so many bloody platforms. Because even when Pokemon had an issue, not on multiple different devices, but just you play Pokemon for a bit and it might just decide to wipe your save data. And that had quite a few people nervous about, well, is it worth playing or do we wait for a patch?
And then you had the absolute diehard Pokemon fans that were just like, nah, shut the fuck up, it's fine.
Yeah, actually, it's a feature. Yeah, so I, to be honest, I don't know if I'll actually pick up WrestleQuest anytime soon, but I'm really glad that they found a bug bad enough to warrant delaying the release, and I hope the community is okay with this is how they've gone about this. So I want to give props to Megacat Studios. What are your thoughts?
I'm really happy that they found this and that they're doing what they can to get rid of it. Delaying it by a couple of weeks seems like the right move. Yeah, but same boat. I really want this game. It's gonna be on the back burner for a bit though, because Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is this month, and so is Armored Core 6, and something.
That's right.
Something has to take the hit, and unfortunately, it's going to be WrestleQuest for me. But I will get this at some point, and it's good to know that when I pick it up, I won't have a save crashing bug in it.
Yeah. Why did I think Armored Core 6 was already out? That must be really soon.
It's really soon. It's like the 24th, I think. Yeah, so it's days after WrestleQuest.
Cool. The actually, I don't think we talk much about Armored Core. No, I don't think there's anything else to hit on Armored Core, so I'm just going to quickly pull this in there now. There was I think like a 6 to 10 minute video from IGN getting early access to the first few missions of Armored Core. Looks very interesting. It's not it's something that I just literally don't have the time to pick up on release, but very, very close to the top of if there is a free slot in any of the time that I somehow managed to find, Armored Core 6 it would be right up there with what I want to try and fill it with.
Have any of you guys played a Armored Core game before?
I played Armored Core 4.
I haven't.
Did you like it? Because
I like it.
Yeah, did you like? Because the one person I know, now 2 people, including yourself, that has actually played an Armored Core game, like doesn't like them. He's played like 4 and 5, and he's like, I didn't like them.
Armored Core 4. I mean, you also have to remember Armored Core 4 came out on the PS2, and it has been many years. Wait, PS2? Am I off?
I think it might have been a round launch PS3 game.
Maybe then. Either way, a long time ago now. So when I played it, I enjoyed it, but it was also a game that I didn't purchase. I rented for a weekend from the video game store. Sorry, how did I fuck that sentence? I was trying to read and I said words at the same time. It's a video game I rented from a DVD store for the weekend. So I had a lot of fun on that weekend, but I also, because I didn't own it, really, like, you know, it wasn't like I sunk 20-something hours into it. So what I played, I enjoyed. And what I've seen of Armored Core 6, I really like the look of. So I'm hopeful, at least. I imagine Saif and or myself will talk about it more once one of us picks it up and plays it. But yeah, no, large mechs fighting each other, it's a pretty good recipe.
Large customizable mechs where you can just replace your arms and shoulders and legs with guns. Also, quick Google check. PS3 and 360, it came out in 2006, Armored Core 4.
Ah, okay. Because I was thinking 2005-ish, which is why I wanted to go to PS2, but 2006 PS3 makes sense, actually. Man, it's crazy that's what, 18 years ago? 17 years ago?
Yeah, 17. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Nothing but renting Armored Core 4 from the video store every weekend, am I right, fellas? Anyway, Ratatan, which we brought up briefly last week, got all of their stretch goals, so it is coming to console. And I think, Saif, you were looking into this. It's blown like every stretch goal that it has. I think
almost all of them. It's at 120 million yen now. The next stretch goal is 125 million yen, and that's for orchestrated music. And then after that is a customized fort run, which I'm not sure what that is. It's probably just another mode that's going to be in the game. And then after that, it has mystery prize with hard choices attached to it, which no idea what that could mean. But everything else, it's blown through. So Patrick, thank you for finding that $250 it needed to reach that console version. And then everyone else after that collaborated towards getting mini games and David Wise and chip tunes and a whole lot of other things, including a secret ending for the game. So it's doing really well. It's blowing through so many of its stretch goals, and in Australian dollars, it's at 1.3 million raised.
Dang, that's doing well.
Good. That's cool.
And this is for a Patapon inspired game, like Patapon spiritual successor. I didn't know that Patapon had that much staying power and fan base push.
I mean, even just as I say, as we talked about last week, you hear the sound and just all the, I would say some combination of trauma and Vietnam flashbacks and everything comes back, but just like, it's such an iconic game that just being reminded of it, I at least am taken immediately back to playing it. So it definitely had the staying power. I'm sorry to tell you this, Seth. Second biggest disappointment after telling you that my audio third biggest disappointment for this episode after telling you that my audio fucked up, but I was not the one to chip in the $250 needed to get over the line, but I am hovering over pulling the trigger on backing the Kickstarter because it's the sort of game that I just know if I get it, I will play it and I will enjoy it because I enjoyed the shit out of Patapon. But it's hard. It's one of those like we were talking about with Armored Core. There's just God, it's such a good year to be a gamer.
you just couldn't let me live in a lie, could you?
I couldn't. I'm sorry, man. I gotta bring you back down to earth.
Speaking of,
slap you in the face with my 9 inches of reality.
What?
That's 6 inches more than I thought you were
sorry.
carrying.
I'm looking at Kickstarter as I always do. And there's something called
Quick, cut him off and go to the next news section before he continues.
No, it's a Canadian invention, Pat. You'll like this. It's called the thinking egg. I don't know what it does. It looks like it's just an egg that you rub when you're feeling like anxious or something. But I don't get it. It doesn't. Everybody Google thinking egg 3. I think it's what it's called. What happened to 1 and 2? I guess, but never mind. I'm done.
Something to think about, I guess.
Yeah.
And while we're thinking about it, shut up. While we're thinking about it, Red Dead Redemption coming to
Don't worry,
the latest generation.
I didn't update
What?
the thing. I had my KO paused, but no, the Panthers are up, boys. 24-12, easy peasy. The boys are going to be like, GG, shake my hand.
Just like they're telling that to the ref, just in the middle of the field.
Saying that to the ref.
Yeah, exactly. So Red Dead Redemption is coming to the latest generation consoles, Nintendo Switch and Sony PS4. Does someone want to tell Rockstar, or are we expecting them to figure this out for themselves?
No, Rockstar made a decision to do it like this.
Yeah.
Who is this for?
For
Can the Switch even run Red Dead
I
Redemption?
assume so. It's because
Yeah, 10
it
frames a
seems like
second.
it's not that much more powerful than the Wii U, if it even is. And the Wii U was more powerful than PlayStation 3 and 360, so they could have run it. The Wii U could have ran it, which means the Switch can probably run it pretty decently.
It's just a weird, like, none of the Grand Theft Autos are... Actually, no, that collection they've got are on the Switch, I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean? Literally every Grand Theft Auto is on literally every platform.
Well, no, 4 and 5 isn't on the Switch. They sell so much money. But yeah, I don't think anybody was really asking for this. But I think like,
You'd actually be surprised, but a lot of people are asking for a PC version as well. And
yeah, and there were like rumors going around. There were rumors going around that there was going to be a full-on remake for it.
Yeah, well, that was because they shoot. Now I'm
a couple of weeks ago we talked about it having listings for Steam and consoles.
Yeah.
So it was Steam. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember it being listed for consoles. I don't remember if it was listed for Steam or not, but thank you for reminding me. That's good.
I'm pretty sure it was listed for Steam.
Anyway, so the question is, who's gonna get it? Who can't wait to be Red
Not
Dead
for
and
$50
redeemed
US
on
dollars,
Switch?
no.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you're saving the extra $5 to get 4 costumes of turtles.
Exactly. I need to buy those Ninja Turtle outfits.
It's
So
like- it's
just
just-
so I can
it's-
upset
it's-
Steven. That's literally the only reason I'm pissing that money away.
You simply give me the money. Use it to pay for your own salary. But yeah, like I don't that price point just seems high. And then they've got the CEO of Take-Two has come out and said, no, we believe it's fair. It's like, what have you done? Like they've just ported it to the next consoles. They probably haven't even fixed the lighting. And let us all remember.
It's not even a proper remaster as far as I know.
It's a port at best. And let everybody don't forget that 2 years ago when they did the 3 GTAs and it's fucking shit, like barely ran, and lost all the soul because they didn't check it. They just used AI to smooth over every edge. And
also the only reason this isn't hitting Xbox One is because the 360 version is already backwards compatible on the Xbox consoles. Yeah, so they're just like, no, we don't need to release it on there. We're just going to release it on the consoles that can't play it right now.
Actually, that's a very good question. How much is Red Dead Redemption in the Microsoft Store? It is.
Is the 360 store still running?
There is no 360 store. Like it's just combined. Like you can purchase 360 games.
Right,
on, like, your
it's
Xbox.
just when 360 games decide to get delisted.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, fellas, how much do we reckon Red Dead Redemption is?
What in the 360 store?
Yeah, well,
is it on
sale
store right now, or is it?
Nope, it is not on sale. This is its RRP.
$15.
How much do you reckon, Seth?
20.
20? But you're both fucking wrong. It's $49.95.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
How?
It just seems like they just
tax.
No, I reckon. So if I'm going onto Deku Deals, big shout out to Deku Deals, and I'm going to see if the price has fluctuated recently. It would not surprise me.
I reckon it's that high because it's backwards compatible. If it wasn't and it was just for 360, it would be a lot lower.
No, it's always fucking. It's usually higher at 50, 45, and it goes on sale all the time for like $16. But yeah, that's like insane. Like the game came out like what, nearly 15 years ago now, and they're charging fucking that much. In their defense, I'd never want to do. Hang on, it says no. It comes with the Undead Nightmare. I'm pretty sure, like the DLC for it, which is another sort of.
It's a complete pack.
Yeah, but like just the Xbox 360 one gives it no indicator. It just looks like it's a 360 game from a million years ago. Yeah, no, very, very strange pricing tactic. Very, very strange. Okay, and to compare, Grand Theft Auto 4 for the Xbox 360 is $39.95.
Getting away with highway robbery.
Yeehaw!
Which is funny because that's kind of the whole Red Dead Redemption shtick, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this has been Red Dead Redemption Corner. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, well, thanks for that, I guess. Next up, we have some possible hints of Sony PlayStation exclusives being delayed, which is, I assume, funny news to say because he's going to say, "Oh, what exclusives? You guys don't have any exclusives because they all go to PC anyway." Sorry,
it's
I'm
true,
sorry, Steve. That was rude of me.
So does the Xbox ones.
There are no
exclusives anymore.
We know. Yeah, but we know what we're getting into. Like, you can't be like, "Oh yeah, we're getting exclusives," and then 6 months later it's coming to PC, and then like you just sit here crying about it for 2 hours. Steph, come on, man. But take a hard look at yourself.
It's the FOMO, man. I got to get in there day one.
Simply, if it does not come, you know what? Just wait 3 years. Everything comes 75% off, or comes Game Pass. Sorry, yeah, no. So continue, Pat. Sorry.
The main takeaways is that this is from a report where they hint that they're going to have to delay some first party some exclusives. I don't know if first party is technically part of that or not, but they also say that they don't think the changes will meaningfully impact its annual revenue forecast, which it's sort of weird, right? Because it like either they delay and it does impact, or they delay and it does, like I don't know. It seems kind of weird that like either the case is they delay exclusives but it not impacting revenue suggests that not a lot of people would pick up the exclusives. Otherwise, the delay should impact revenue, right? But then again, it's also I think I saw something else of it's sort of a kind of oddly written article for me to try and figure out the sort of main sticking points of it.
To be honest, the only reason I really wanted to throw this in here was because a lot of people were complaining about the lack of first-party exclusives at the State of Play that happened a couple months back. And this, I guess, is kind of like a backdoor look of like, well, maybe this is why we didn't see anything, because Sony's trying to show things closer to when they release now. And yeah, so if things are getting delayed internally, then that would have impacted that State of Play a couple months ago.
This was the section I was trying to find. This report, courtesy of Game Rant, mentions that it could be Stellar Blade, which was the South Korean. It was the really pretty looking South Korean one, right? We saw the trailer like a month ago, I think.
Don't recall this. Looking at
Am I crazy?
Yeah,
it was like the sort of like fantastical, all the different world ones.
It's weird because the tweets that is highlighted in this article has a highlighted part that says it's a portion of first party titles, but Stellar Blade isn't a first party. It's just they bought the rights for it, but it's being developed by a third party.
South Korean one. No, this is not the game I was thinking of. Shoot, what was the one I was thinking of? Actually, no, that might have been a PC one where it had the like time mechanic, and it might have been an MMO. And
right, yes.
The whole thing was how good it looked.
It was that MMO that looked fake to me.
Yeah, but that was also a South Korean game, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Okay, so I wasn't totally off. I was just mostly off. That's good for me. Yeah, anyway, I don't know too much about what to make of this. I mean, go and play God of War Ragnarok, go and play Ratchet and Clank, go and play
Starfield.
We still got Final Fantasy 16 this year. We still got Spider-Man coming out.
Yeah, true. True.
It's not in the news docket, but apparently there's leaks that 7 Remake is going to come out by the end of January, which I don't really believe. And I think there's also Rise of the Ronin coming out in March. So it's not like the PS5 is hurting for exclusives that are going to be exclusive for 6 months.
Not to mention the shoot, I did have a point. Oh yes, that everyone's favorite video game based on a movie based on a video game, Gran Turismo. Also,
I'm actually hearing that's getting pretty good reviews.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen the trailer a lot because it's in front of basically every movie I've seen in cinemas in the past couple months, and it looks interesting enough that I would consider going and watching it in cinemas. So I wouldn't be surprised.
And Twisted Metal are turning out surprisingly well. Like, people saw those announcements and were like, "Oh no, they're going to be really bad." And then Twisted Metal's come out. It's like, "Oh wait, this is actually decent." And now the Gran Turismo reviews are coming out. It's like, "Oh wait, actually, this is pretty good. Maybe Sony's onto something."
Just quickly tossing this one. Oh, sorry. Anything more on Sony delaying titles?
No, I'm good there.
Steve?
No, I got nothing.
One last dig in there. No, you got nothing.
No, I don't need to.
What are you? The Xbox? Oof. Ooh,
no,
there we go.
Them delaying their games is all the jokers that need to be made.
Unlike the no games coming out on Xbox.
like, don't worry. Next year, when the Activision Blizzard stuff comes through, yeah, no worries. Spyro 7 coming out for Xbox. I've never played
it. Bengus 4, let's go.
Knack 3, baby. Knack 4, baby.
Knack 4.
You all said that about Banjo Free, and look how that turned out.
What do you mean?
Turned into Nuts and Bolts.
What do you mean? That doesn't exist.
Nuts and Bolts exists.
No, it doesn't.
Don't hide it.
That's Tears of the Kingdom. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about, Steph. You're delusional. Quick, yeah. You've gone like a couple months without 1 month without a PS5 exclusive. You're going insane. Got the shakes.
And one exclusive that month was, I spent so much money on it.
Going to quickly, thank you, drive by this secondary Game Rant article. If you are a fan of Crysis 3, Dante's Inferno, or Dead Space 2, your online servers are shutting down in the next couple months. Good luck. Anyway, moving on to the next.
I'm sure there was multiple people playing those games.
I am surprised to hear that Dante's Inferno had an online feature. I guess it was leaderboards.
Yeah, I was genuinely shocked at that one as well, actually.
I haven't thought about that game in so long.
Anyway, we now get to move into Saif's... man, I was trying to think of some fun Saif evolution segue thing. Couldn't figure it out. But first in the list of quite a few little bits of Evo that I assume Saif is going to jump all over. PS5 might not be melting the hearts of people playing all those exclusives, but it is melting USB ports, apparently. Thanks, Evo 2023. Take it away,
Thanks,
Saif.
Sony.
Yeah, so this is like a freak incident that seems to have been going on around Evo where...
Freak.
You okay?
No, I'm waiting for Saif to finish. Like, it's a freak incident, but there's like a million incidents. But I don't know what... Anyway, go on, Saif. Finish your story.
It seemed like it was a handful of PS5s that were doing it, and not like all over the convention setup. It sucks that it happened to a bunch of people, but it wasn't like it happened to everyone. But yeah, I think there were a lot. It seems like there were a lot of faulty PS5s that were around the convention center for Evo, and the back USB ports just got overheated and started melting some people's USBs. It was especially bad for some people using converters, where they needed to plug in a converter so that they could use their controller on a PS5, because they're not natively supported.
What? So a USB-C controller or something?
No, more like the PCB for it is like, this is a 360 controller and it won't work on PS5. So we have this converter to make the PS5 think it's a PS5.
Oh, like a software compatibility thing. How rogue is that, using a 360 controller on a PS5?
Yeah, people have their preferences for controllers. Like, even when it comes to pad, people are like, I don't like the PS5 controller, but I really like the Xbox controller, and people make converters for those. So yeah, it seems like it was a bunch of those. The PS5 isn't meant to be getting hot enough where this is meant to be happening. So that's why people think it was like it was some malfunctioning once, because it needs to get really hot for it to be able to do this. And yeah, it's a really weird thing that was happening, and it sucks for the people that had it happen. But it seems like the staff at Evo picked up on it pretty quickly, and were like, when it came to big time matches, they were swapping out the consoles just to try and avoid it. I've seen like some of the people that had it happen to them like go, oh, we should just start playing on PC or Xbox, and that's not going to happen. Evo is partially owned by Sony now. It's always going to be running on PlayStation consoles. That's just the way way the cookie's crumbling on that one.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You just never hear about it. Xbox is happening with this, but then at the same time, like, they probably don't use Xboxes. Over.
Yeah, no, this is like the first time it's happened at Evo as well. Like, they ran like with PS4s for so long without any issues. They ran with 360s before that without any issues. This is the first time it's run with PS5s, and yeah, it seems like a good few of them had this issue pop up. So next hardware revision, I guess Sony will fix it up. Make sure it doesn't happen again, because it's not a good look for them.
What's funny is that there was that big scare, I think maybe a year ago, seems like too long ago, but a couple months ago at least, of people worried that when their PS5 was in vertical and it got too hot, it would start seeping some of the thermal paste under the CPU and brick the console.
Yeah, apparently that turned out to be bullshit.
You guys remember that? Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you'd think that if it was getting hot enough to melt the USB ports in the back of it, that it would also be getting hot enough internally to cause that problem.
Yeah.
I know it turned out to be bullshit ages ago, but I'm just saying it's kind of funny that like that came up and then died immediately when people realized that it was bullshit. But it's like, yeah, no, we've already had a couple hardware level PS5 scares, and they turned out to be okay. So, not saying that this is also bullshit because it seems like it's happened, but
yeah, there's also like some of the people that were reporting on this as well. I just need to quickly chime in. We're saying, oh yes, so my opponents disconnected my controller for me, and that makes me raise an eyebrow. Like, do you think maybe they just yanked it really hard? Like, do you think you beat them and they got mad and they're like, oh, let me undo your controller for you, and then just fucked with them?
Let me just spike your USB cable. Anyway, next up we have.
Here lies my hopes and dreams.
Okay, tell us about your hopes and dreams.
So many years ago,
not all of them. You can pick one hope and one dream.
Okay. So the dream is for a good version of this game existing, and the hope is that one day it will exist. 10 years ago was the release of a little game called Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which I was really excited for because Street Fighter and Tekken are like the two big dogs of fighting games, and I love both franchises dearly. So having like a dedicated game.
Oh yeah, gun to your head. Pick
Tekken.
one. Pick one right now.
Did I choose correctly?
Okay. Gun to Steve's head. Pick one right now.
Please don't. Please don't do this.
Can I get back to you on that one?
Bang.
Pick one. We executed Steve.
But yeah. So they announced two versions of this. There was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which was the Street Fighter style, and then Tekken Cross Street Fighter, which would be the Tekken gameplay style, but with like the same sort of concept of bringing over Street Fighter characters to that game. Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. It was received really negatively because of some really boneheaded decisions, and then Tekken Cross Street Fighter just kind of faded into the background until it just stopped being talked about. So this year at EVO on the stage, Harada's coming out to talk about some updates with Tekken 8, and out comes Yoshinori Ono, the former head of the Capcom fighting game division. He doesn't work there anymore, but he came out to give Harada shit, and he's just like, "Hey Harada, we had some work to do together. What happened to Tekken Cross?" And then he gets cut off and he gets chased off stage, and it was obviously a planned thing. It was for fun of it, and all it's done is hurt me and reminding me that Tekken Cross Street Fighter doesn't exist.
And then they murdered him on stage in front of everyone, and then they left his body there as a message for the other people presenting at EVO.
Honestly, that would have been the good ending. Fuck Ono. There's a reason why he doesn't work at Capcom anymore.
Good ending is watching a man die in front of you. But when I say gun to Steve's head, it's like, oh no, it'll be probably fine.
Yeah, he'll recover.
No, I won't. I've been shot 4 times.
But yeah,
Yeah, but what have you lost?
Just quickly rolling into more of it. Quickly rolling into more of the Tekken stuff since I've already talked about it now. Tekken 8 at the EVO stage reveals 2 characters, where Raven from Tekken 5 is returning. He's taken his mantle back from Master Raven, who was in Tekken 7. He looks really cool. They've given him new like Shadow Clone Jutsu stuff.
Jesus.
Noob Saibot?
Even
Naruto.
better than that.
Naruto.
Yeah, along the Naruto lines.
Naruto Saibot?
He looks as much like Wesley Snipes as he ever has. And yeah, no, I'm excited for Raven to come back. And on top of that, they were also like, hey, so we've shown a lot of returning characters, but we haven't actually shown anyone new for Tekken 8. So here's one, and they announced Azucena. She's a character from Peru, and her entire gimmick is that she's an MMA superstar that really, really loves coffee. She like owns a coffee bean growing plantation. It is like family owned, and she's taken over it. And because she's such an MMA superstar, she uses her fame to push her brand forward and like make it like the top coffee company in the world.
Is her promise that if you don't buy the coffee, she will fight you?
So a thing that Tekken 8 does is that they have like character specific intros for certain matchups.
I'm just looking for a yes or no.
Yeah, you never get a yes or no from me. her intro with the character Lily is Azucena starts off with saying coffee is the greatest drink in existence, and then she goes to swipe at Lily, and Lily jumps back and she goes, "No, I'm going to show you how good tea is," and then they start their fight.
Like chai tea?
Let me steal a joke from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You just you said chai tea. You are literally saying TT.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't want the joke explained. We all know what I was referencing.
Thank you so much for that, Seth, because I was tempted, but
I was also tempted, but I pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, you know? Like the joke was the joke was there for the taking. I wanted you to spike the layup rather
as the
than
Pakistani
me
person of the podcast. I feel like it was my right to do it.
What a weird way to categorize yourself.
Anyway, last bit of Tekken news. People looked at the Steam page for Tekken 8 and it says it has Denuvo, and people started chucking a stink over it because Denuvo ruins game performance really badly. And Harada's seen this, and he goes on Twitter and goes, "No, it's still in development. We don't have Denuvo in it. So stop your tedious allergic reactions to every single thing and sit quietly." Now,
I feel like that's the closest thing a game director can say to shut the fuck up.
Oh no, actually no, yeah, I don't think he ever says shut the fuck up, but one of his big catchphrases for a little bit was coming onto stage and telling people to sit down and shut up while he gets to go through his presentations, and he even had like a shirt where he'd open up the button-up shirt and show like a shirt underneath that says sit down and shut up.
It would have been even better if he just opened that with "Listen, crackers."
Jesus.
Harada is very fun when he's doing the personality bit, but when that personality bit is taking over his business decisions, he gets frustrating. But yeah, hopefully he sticks. Hopefully he sticks to this. But it'll be the funniest thing in the world if Tekken 8 comes out and it does have Denuvo in it.
Has Denuvo in it? Yeah. It was him that was trying to crack down on the closed beta test, on the closed network test, right?
Yes, yeah, that was him.
Yeah, okay.
He was the one that came out and said, "Hello, crackers."
I'm just thinking of Hello Peter from Spider-Man. he's got similar sunglasses in the image. Anyway, we'll move on. Yeah,
next up on the Evo roundup is a small game called Pocket Bravery. It's coming out August 31st on PC and a little later on consoles. This is just like a small indie, like 2D pixel art fighting game that I thought looks neat. So just wanted to throw it in there. I don't think it got like big presence at Evo, but I found it on my Evo news roundup, and yeah, it looks nice, and it has rollback netcode.
Oh, already in the good books.
The magical R word. Also, next up, we got Grand Blue Fantasy Rising updates. Not going to go a lot into this. They updated a lot of things. They showed a trailer for the character Nier. They also teased a character called Grimnir. No. And yeah, they haven't shown much of him. We just know he's a wind.
What was that? What was that, Steve?
I was going to try and go past it. I didn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
You're a fucking idiot, Pat, for falling for it. I don't know. Grimnir is the ability of Spectria in Pokemon.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think a horse sounds like?
What sort of?
Yeah. So what if it is? Okay. No, just checking.
Yeah. It's not in this article, so I'm going to have to guess while I try to look up the Event Hub's page for it. But I believe the game was announced to be coming out in December, and there will be a free version as well. The game should launch, like from memory, the game launches at $50 with a deluxe edition that will have a season pass at $75, and the free edition will just be free, and you have the main character Gran always unlocks and a rotating cast of free characters. and the free edition will just give you the first chapter of the story mode and access to every other online feature. So it seems like a fairly good free mode to try and get people interested in the game. Okay.
I don't really have anything to add, but cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. Now we get to the actual big roundup dockets. So I don't have to go around looking all over the place. Rivals of Aether 2 adds the character Maple into this game. Rivals of Aether 2 being Rivals of Aether was a sprite-based Smash clone. That was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of Smash YouTubers got really into it and were pushing it quite a bit. Alpha Rad being one of the biggest ones that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Rivals of Aether 2 being the next game in that. It's going 3D now, and they're just showing off all the characters coming to that, and a lot of them are just returning cast from the first game. But yeah, the character Maple from the first game is being added back. Idol Showdown adds Usada Pakora, the rabbit VTuber. Also a new stage with her edition. Looks like a lot of fun. I haven't touched Idol Showdown since the first time I played it, but I could get back into it with more characters added. I think they've got like 2 more post-launch characters planned. So they've got plans to keep this game going for a while, and that's a good thing to see. Yasuo was shown off for Project L.
Yes.
Uo.
Yeah.
Yasuo.
Yeah.
That's his name. Don't worry about.
I can't remember if we talked about it last week, but they had like the 4th mystery character that was going to show up at EVO for people to try out at the
yes,
at the stage. The 4th mystery character ended up being Yasuo. All the content creators already knew about him, but were under NDA to not talk about him. But the moment he was announced, all of them just dropped their videos talking about him, like at once. It was a really funny thing to see. I think even Sajam was like 2 minutes early on his drop of his video. But yeah, Yasuo looks fun. He's a stance character that's a sword user and has a lot of crazy combos, and it seems like he has low damage because of how insane his combo game is supposed to get in that game. Under Night in Birth is getting a sequel game called Under Night in Birth 2 Sis Celeste. This game has insane names. I don't have too much more to add to this. I really liked Under Night in Birth 1. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to a sequel for it, but they haven't really shown off anything to talk about for that yet. Just, yeah, it's in the works. It's got rollback. So that's all you need to know for now.
I see.
Now for Patrick's excitement, Nick All-Star Brawl 2 had a panel, and they just announced that Plankton will be in the game.
At real size?
Yes, but he's piloting a human-sized mech version of himself. But you can still see the real-sized Plankton on top of that mech.
That's... I'll allow it. That's pretty interesting. The question is it enough to finally kill? I've already forgotten the joke in terms of which...
Multiverses?
Was Multiverses... Was that's my point. Nick All-Star Brawl was the Smash killer. Was Multiverses the Nick All-Star Brawl killer, or was Nick All-Star Brawl the Multiverses killer as well?
I believe Multiverses was the Nick All-Star Brawl killer.
Yeah, exactly. So will Nick All-Star Brawl 2 be the Nick All-Star Brawl killer? Cutting the lunch of the 10 people currently playing it?
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. So Plankton was shown off. I guess I didn't really pay too much attention to it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's Plankton. Good get, I guess. Hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah, Pocket Bravery was on this.
That's all we need to say about eBay. I'm done.
No.
Evo chat board. I'm watching the Family Guy Try Not to Laugh compilations.
I'm just going to mute Steven's audio. Impossible. So yeah, they showed off more. They showed off a little bit of Street Fighter 6 costume DLC that's going to be coming up. Because they have to cover up Guile's arms that show off his immaculate USA flag tattoos. They've just got USA flag patches on top of his sleeves. They also have Marissa in a wedding gown and jewelry and pajamas. And I guess just
to get the turtles.
No, that's a different part. This is for the real characters. To round out the costumes they showed for now, DJ is in a really flashy suit. Oh my god, I'm going to laugh so much if these costume packs are cheaper than the turtles. Killer Instinct is getting a update after 5 years of being completed. It's just the community. Cool. The community of that game has kept it alive so much that the Microsoft and the KI team got back together to do another patch, like fix up the matchmaking, give it optimizations for the new Xbox consoles, and do another round of balance patches to make it more balanced. New characters are being added to KOF 15. Samurai Showdown's rollback version is coming out September. And they showed off the new Fatal Fury game. It's called City of the Wolves. I think that is a sick name. It has a really cool art style. Outside of those, we don't know anything about the game still. They just showed a teaser trailer showing how Rock Howard and Terry Bogard look in the new art style, and it's sick. It's a big improvement over what KOF 15 looks like. And KOF 15 was really good for what SNK was putting out. So, Patrick, I can't remember, but did you have any experience with the PS2 Mortal Kombat games?
Not PS2. I only played the PS3 one, which I think we agreed was 6 or 7.
No, 9.
Yeah, that's what I said, 9.
not even close.
Okay, so I think I've talked about it. Okay. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but essentially the PS2 era characters in Mortal Kombat have been banished to the wayside forever ever since they rebooted it. And they've just been like, yeah, no, fuck those characters. People hate them and they're never coming back. That's changed now. So now all the Mortal Kombat boomers are upset because Sonya Blade and Jax and Kano are nowhere to be seen. But we're getting Ashra and Havoc coming back. Ashra being a demon character that's like purged all the evil out of her body and is starting to become angelic and human. And Havoc being a zombie man that literally breaks his own bones and rips his arms off to attack the opponent, and all of his appendages get reattached. And he's creepy looking, but he's sick and one of my favorite characters from the PS2 era. And I never expected to see him come back as a playable character ever. I thought the PS2 characters, if they were ever going to be added to Mortal Kombat 1, were going to be stuck as being assist characters.
That's pretty good, actually.
So this has made me really happy, but also hasn't swayed my opinion on whether I'm going to get the game or not. Because I just don't like how Mortal Kombat controls. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I hate you.
Johnny is being added to Guilty Gear, and along with Johnny, Season 3.
Johnny Cage?
No, Johnny Bravo.
Oh.
No, it's Johnny Gat.
You sure?
Along with Johnny, Season 3 is officially starting up. Okay, yeah, the TMNT Street Fighter 6 stuff we already covered, and they showed a teaser trailer for Aki, the next character that's going to be coming to Street Fighter 6. She's not coming till our spring, but they just showed like what her World Tour cutscene looks like to give a vibe of what she is. And she is quirky, evil, and people are already going, I can fix her though.
Nice.
People need to go outside.
Yeah, those people need to touch grass because there is no fixing her. And just general Evo news for the sake of like I like this news. Evo Japan's coming back next year. It's going to be running April 27 to 29. Evo USA is already confirmed to be July 26 to 28 next year. And originally I was thinking, this is weird because they're like 4 months apart. Originally, Evo Japan was January and Evo USA was August, so they got like a lot of breathing room between them. but they've made this gap because they're also going to be doing a third Evo next year, which will probably be like Evo Europe, is what people are guessing. But we don't know anything about that third one just yet. We just know there will be a third one at some point next year. And just for general Evo getting to jerk themselves off a little bit, it's officially the creators of Evo were given the key to the city of Vegas, and the Nevada governor officially labeled August 6th as Evo Day for the state. So Evo is now an officially state recognized holiday.
Do they get a day off?
No, I doubt it.
American moment.
And yeah, that's the Evo roundup.
Well, look at that.
It like I said, Evo is fighting game Christmas. There's a lot that happens there.
Cool. Well, we get to round it out a little bit with some. Okay, who wrote Pokemon Snooze Corner? Is that you, Saif?
I did because I wanted to make the Pokemon Sleep pun.
You're a fucking idiot. I hate you so much.
All right. Well, get one back, Steve. Tell Saif how much you hate him by talking about how great Detective Pikachu Returns looks.
Look, I'm going to say he's back, and by him I mean Detective Pikachu. It's important to note that this Detective Pikachu
is not voiced by Danny DeVito, which means he is worse than the Pikachu I have in Pokemon Sleep.
Well, the one in Pokemon Sleep isn't voiced by Danny DeVito either.
No, but he is named Danny DeVito, which is still one step above what Detective Pikachu has going for him.
But yeah, this is the sequel to the 3DS game that came out in 2016. Hold
on. Wait a second. I'm getting a message from Pokemon Sleep. It looks like Danny DeVito wants me to go to bed. I think we're going to need to wrap up now, guys.
I don't believe you.
I believe Danny DeVito.
All right, well, so you're allowed to do your dumb Evo thing that nobody cares about, but Pokemon, which all three of us love, fuck you,
no,
man.
but this is, you see, it doesn't feel good when it happens to you, does it? Patrick's been on the receiving end of it. Now it's your turn.
Give you the receiving end in a minute. So
I am in your walls. Bring it on.
But, sorry, so there was a Pokemon Presents on Tuesday, I believe. I stayed up for it. At great personal cost to my sleep hygiene.
I watched it on the car ride after seeing Barbie.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
I finished Barbie and then I was like, it starts in 5 minutes. Guess I'm going to load it up on my phone while I get picked up from the movie theater.
Yeah, no, it was okay. So yeah, they announced that Detective Pikachu Returns is coming out. I thought I just gave a bit of an overview of that. I don't really care for that. There was a couple of Pokemon Masters news which I don't care about. They focus a lot. They spent like 5 or 6 minutes dedicated to like the World Championships, which take their point. That is this weekend, and this is their big event.
It also has a really nice jacket, like that.
It does.
The Yokohama Pokemon World logo on the back of that jacket just popped out really well.
Yeah, so like everybody gets a jacket if you could make it in to compete, and people that attend have a chance to buy it. The resale for those, from my understanding, it'll go for a couple grand. Don't know why you would buy it though if you don't make it there. Like simply just get good. But there was a couple of things. As the tie-in with Pokemon Go, Passamon's in as Pikachu with a dumb hat. Of course, 40,000 Pikachus with a dumb hat.
Yep. True.
But what about Charizard?
Well, they did announce a new TCG set that has a fucking Charizard in it because God forbid Pokemon does anything that doesn't mention Charizard. Literally an addiction at that point. What are those couple? Yeah, there was Pokemon Masters, Pokemon Cafe EX, Cafe Remix, whatever dumb thing they're calling it that nobody plays anymore. They announced that there's two things about the TCG. They've brought Pokemon TCG, the Game Boy Color game, to the Nintendo Switch Online. Fantastic, as well as Pokemon Stadium 2, but no one cares. Simply put in red and blue and green compatibility into that game, and then we'll talk. And then they also announced there's going to be a specific TCG anime, which I think is so fucking rogue. That
it just might work.
They might be onto something there. I don't want to say it, but let them cook. So I don't know. I'm gonna give that the Game Boy Color game a try.
Do you imagine if they use the TCG anime and it's just the entirety of like say, the cast of Yu-Gi-Oh or something, and they just co-opt it but change the game they play.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how it works because card games. Not that I watch a lot of card game animes, but like Yu-Gi-Oh has sort of like perfected the formula because it's like the holographic monsters and they attack. Like, what are they going to do with the Pokemon ones? Like, they're going to pretend they're battling or something.
They whip out their phones and play Pokemon Go in the anime.
Oh, I'd turn it off. I'd go for a jog. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And they did probably the big feature or the massive camel on their back. Everyone was thinking like, oh, they're going to announce like Legends Kyurem or Legends Gen Mewtwo or something. So they announced that in Scarlet and Violet that Mewtwo is going to be the next Terra Raid, the next 7-star Terra Raid, and they're giving away a free Mew with that. That seems pretty cool. But hold on.
I need to do it. I need to do it live on pod. You get a free Mew. And to get it, you'd write the promo code "Get Your Mew," but the O is a 0 instead. So by September 1st, make sure you go onto Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and write "Get Your Mew."
September 17th.
Oh yeah, sorry. Starts September 1st and runs until October 17th.
Nope, the Mew starts from now and it finishes September 17th. The Mewtwo Terra Raid starts September 1st and runs to the
Oh, okay. I thought they both started at the same time. Okay, I need to actually go get the Mew then because when I was doing it, I was like, what do you mean it starts September 1st? I'm going to forget to do it by then.
Yeah, no, they're doing a lot of distributions at the moment. But no, yeah, if you need a Mew for some reason, it's out there. They randomize the stats, nature, moves, and Terra type. I got a Dragon one. And they're trying to catalog the combination. So if you really want, you can make another account, try again. I don't really know why you would, but whatever, that's rogue. But yeah, anyway, the big thing about it is the DLC coming out. The Teal Mask, which is part 1, and the Indigo Disc. And they did a run through of what those DLCs are going to look like. The Teal Mask just looks like you've gone to a festival. And both these DLCs takes
You're in like a mountain village. Yeah, it's big Persona 4 vibes.
Yeah. Like there's a festival going on and you're in like a traditional Japanese kimono and it looks all right. And then there's
the Rivals, the younger brother, looks like he really wants to fuck you up sometimes.
I can't remember that. And then they've got the Indigo Disc, which is you're sort of on like an exchange program at some other dumb university or some dumb school. And you're sort of figuring out what's going on there.
An underwater school, I'd like to add.
Yes. It's very, very funny. It's on the. Yeah, I don't really understand what they were thinking with that one. But they've also announced some new Pokemon as well. For whatever reason, they decided that Applin needs to evolve into Diplin. Which
it's just a candy apple.
It is a candy apple. But that is weird because what is apple? Hang on. So is Applin the baby stage? I always forget.
Yeah, Applin is the baby stage. Flapple is the flapping one.
Yeah, and then there's Appleton, which is the pie one. That's right. Yeah. So it's sort of like now there's 3 Evos instead of 2, which is all right. They announced for whatever reason that Duraludon is going to be evolving. Like Duraludon, the borderline pseudo legendary from Gen 8. The big skyscraper looking motherfucker. Steel Dragon.
Now it's a bridge.
It's a bridge. Yeah, it's the Golden Gate Bridge. It's the suspension bridge. And that's called Archaludon.
I guess it's getting that because they don't have Gigantamax anymore, so it needs something to get an advantage again.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you've raised a good point. Like both of these Pokemon have Gigantamaxes normally, but now they don't. They're just getting something else. They're getting either a third stage or an evolution. I completely think that Archaludon is fucking ridiculous. The Diplin thing is pretty cool, and I like the name as well, but no, they completely dropped the ball on that. Yeah, I think the DLC does look very cool, the way they're...
Hold on. You're forgetting one more returning Pokemon, and we have to address the elephant in the room. They ruined Raikou.
Oh, yeah,
They showed new Paradox Pokemon. One of them's for Raikou, and the other one is for Cobalion.
Yep, Cobalion, yeah. And they're called, I can't remember what the Raikou one is called, but it looks like a giraffe. And
it looks like the
Brontosaurus. The
thing from
Horizon.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to get. The long necked dinosaur in Horizon. Like, because those have like the plate disc around them as well. And Raikou's like its clouds have turned into like weather cloud around its neck.
Yeah, so they've got so the Raikou one's called Raging Bolt, and the Cobalion one is called Iron Crown. Once again, fumbling the bag of the naming convention.
Cobalion already sounded futuristic.
Yeah, but like they could have called it like Iron Justice or something, but they called it Iron Crown. But they just have all the future ones have iron in their name. Like Raging Bolt is fucking sick. But
Scarlet really won out with the names for their Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah, it did.
What's the Gallade one? Isn't that something like Iron Justice?
Iron Valiant.
Oh, okay. Pretty close.
Yeah, close.
Iron Valiant is kind of sick though as a name.
It is.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might be the best one out of all the Paradox Pokemon. Like, in terms of names.
Iron Hands, I do like.
I also like Roaring Moon.
Yeah, Roaring Moon's a good one as well. Yeah, there's some ones that are like really good, and the other ones like Screamtail, like Paradox Jigglypuff. Nobody asked for this.
It's so true.
Yeah, but they still haven't really. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of stuff that like they've kept close to their chest about this. Like they did say there's a couple of challenges you can do, like you can get your Koraidon. Actually, no, it is an interesting thing to say that one of the challenges for Koraidon or Miraidon is like it's got to pop balloons, but like there's no like it's free flight, like it doesn't fall down after 4 seconds. And the way that was phrased in the video, it's like, oh, they might get this ability permanently. So that'd be pretty cool. To sort of see how that goes.
Yeah, and kind of the last thing they also do is like, well, they got to like do another teaser now that they're showing more of what a DLC actually is, and it's like, well, here's a little mystery. By the time you're done with the DLCs, there'll be more things to do in Area Zero.
Yeah, that's kind of good, and I do like how they keep rolling out like the Terra raids, and it's Terra raids of like either new Pokemon like Walking Wake or Iron Leaves or something like that, or old Pokemon that aren't in the game, like any of the starters or Mewtwo or something. Like I do sort of like that, and that brings me back to it.
Yeah, I get into it when it's like something really fresh, new, like the Paradox Pokemon, and I'll go in for Mewtwo. But I didn't. I missed out of Greninja and Rillaboom, and I'm not too cut up about those.
Yeah, good ones either. But no, I do enjoy them. They're a good level of challenge as well. And we also got the release date of the Teal Mask, which is the 13th of September. Which I think is fucking. It's a month away.
I'm so glad it's not October. October is a stacks month.
Green Starfield comes out next month.
Yeah, but I'm not getting Starfield, so I don't give a shit about that. You can deal with having to pick between Starfield or Pokemon. I will just enjoy Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Steve. When's the skateboard arriving for Starfield?
I didn't buy it. I told you I wasn't going to buy it. I don't skate. I'm not cool.
Yeah, okay, right. But like,
you don't need to skate. You can just have it on your wall behind you.
Let's pretend no one else is listening. Blah blah blah. So when is the skateboard coming?
Very funny.
On Starfield's release date.
I didn't buy it. It'll go right next to my...
Todd Howard himself comes like dressed as Santa to deliver it to Steve.
No, he's dressed as Tony Hawk. And then he arrives and you're like, who are you? And it's like, yeah, I get that a lot. It's actually just Tony Hawk.
Yeah. And he completely ruins it.
And there's Tony Hawk just with like the Shia LaBeouf paper bag. What do you have written on it as well? It was like, no one remembers me or something. Man, I feel like I'm digging myself a hole.
Yeah, I actually don't know what you're talking about with that one.
Shia LaBeouf turned up with a paper bag on his head to some awards ceremony, making a statement that he'd like fallen off. I don't remember the specifics.
I mean, it's kind of his fault that he fell off, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's just pick it up again and pretend that the joke was funny. Yeah, good one, me. Come on, Steve, don't take it too far. Wasn't that funny?
All right, so settle down.
Sorry, I had to get a Titus laugh in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, why did that one feel like a Final Fantasy laugh?
That brings us to the end of the Pokemon news. Realistically, I've been doing
I'm sorry, I might have blinked,
but
but did you touch on the Pokemon TCG and Pokemon Stadium 2 coming to Switch online?
Yes, he absolutely did.
Okay, yeah, I just completely blanked out on that because I think before that he was talking about the cafe game that no one gives a shit about.
I spent half a second on that, and we spent 10 minutes talking about what we think the anime is going to be like. But whatever, Seth, no, it's fine. I ignore you, you ignore me. Pat's the person.
And then you interrupt me and like 5 times.
No, I've never interrupted
per
you.
podcast, and then I interrupted you once, and you're like, "Yeah, funny. I'm gonna cut off your hands next."
What? I've never said that. Shit. Tell us what you really feel, Steph.
Steven gets very violent when I try to take his joke.
Because it's my joke. My joke. Anyway,
catch these iron hands.
Oh, that was funny. But yeah, so that takes us to the end of the Pokemon news. I'm going to cave and get the DLC quite soon. Actually, there's no way around it. I waited 2 years to get the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. But spoiler alert, it never went on sale. So all I did was got to play it 2 years later, and no one really cared.
And it also was shit, wasn't it?
They were okay. Like, looking back on it, I think my expectations were very high, for better or worse. But like, it's like once you finish the game, like, what else are they going to give you type of stuff? And like, some of the stuff was good, but because I got into it 2 years late, I already knew everything about it, and I just found it a bit boring. But I think I'll do it a bit differently this time. But yeah, you guys going to get the DLC?
Yeah, I'll get it. I don't know if I'm going to get it right away, but I will definitely jump on it at some point.
You know what's terrible? I still have the Sword and Shield DLC, and I've never played it.
Jesus, we'll get going. It's your homework for this week,
so, it's not, but thank you for trying. So I at this stage do not intend to get the DLC, and I don't actually think I've booted Scarlet Violet certainly since March, maybe even earlier. Might have to do some thinking. I might come back from you. I'm not sure, but I've missed a fair bit.
Hey, you have to get going.
Yeah, if you enjoy it. And what's crazy is that I don't know what happened. Like, the thought of the DLC is actually kind of interesting, but I just can't really be fucked. Anyway.
Hold on, I just want to quickly jump in that I'm looking at the Pokemon Store's like hoodies page, because I was like, I wanted a quick reminder of what the Yokohama hoodie looks like, and yeah, it's not on here. But there's this Sableye hoodie that it has like Sableye's ears attached to the hood and like a print of its eyes and mouth. It's kind of sick. Just wanted to get that out there.
Send pic. Okay,
I'll send pic.
Yeah, send pic for live react.
Yeah, okay. Also, let me mark it on the docket. Will it let me do it properly? I'll have to take a screenshot.
Seth, those are your nudes. Don't upload those.
Oh, nice cock.
Thank you. You're the first person to say that. Okay, here comes the picture.
It's good content. Oh, it's a purple hoodie that just has Sableye hoodies on the hoodie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I described. I don't know. I think it's kind of sick.
But it's like printed. It's not like sticking out.
Yeah, I sort of thought it would be a bit more, to be honest. But hey, if you like printed purple hoodies, boy, that's
one of them. That's one of the old times.
That is yes, sirree, Bob. Finally, in the list of news for today, Nintendo decided that, you know what's more fun than sharing the love with how much fun everyone's having with Tears of the Kingdom? making it so that no one can replicate it legally forever.
Very cool.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Well, it's fun for Nintendo, who we all know is the only video game company who hates their... Sorry, not the only. Is the video game company that hates their fans the most.
They're also the video game company that, ironically, hates fun the most.
All of the above. So they've submitted a bunch of patents on the back of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is funny because so many people that have tried to figure out how that game works just straight up think that it's magic. Just in terms of the amount of performance they've been able to extract out of the Switch for the sort of game that Tears of the Kingdom is. So this is an article from
Automaton Media.
Automaton, yeah, it is Automaton Media. Detailing a few of the different patents that they have filed, including a loading screen for fast travel, which is funny, as well as how Link interacts on top of a physics object. And so a lot of these you wouldn't really think that are patentable, but joke's on us. Turns out that they can be patented.
There's another one that was like really stupid a couple of years back, and I think they actually did get the patent for it. Is
it's the Warner Brothers.
The game, The Medium, has this whole thing where it's a split screen game where you can split between the real world and a spirit world, and just the idea of having a single player game with split screen that shows off like one side real, one side horror. They got the patent for that, so no one's allowed to make a horror game that does that split screen system now.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say that Nintendo tried to file a suit against that for like Luigi's Mansion or something.
No, it's just like they had this idea, they made it, and now they own it.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because imagine being the person or the team that worked on that at Nintendo. You would feel protective of your work because it is quite impressive to get something working. But then at the same time, you think of how many games are so great because they've elements from other games, and how if everything became patented, how stifled the pipeline of sludge would be.
Yeah, I think what's also worth noting is that they've put in all of these patents, and a lot of them have still been turned away and gone like, no, you can't patent this. This is stupid. Go away, Nintendo. But they keep putting more and more patents in anyway for other things. Like that loading screen one that you mentioned, that is very specifically, hey, this is how the loading screen visually looks in Tears of the Kingdom, and no other game looks like this. Like the whole idea is that the world map screen will show where you are, blink out to your icon, and then move over to where you're fast traveling to, and then blink your icon in there. And they want to patent that UI specifically. And yeah, visually it looks nice. I do not understand how you could get away with trying to patent that.
I think I don't know. I don't know.
And then there's other things that are just as simple as like when Link stands on an object, his weight affects that object and it moves down with gravity. And it's like, Nintendo, what are you doing?
They're inventing gravity.
They hate fun. Leave them alone. Genuinely boggles the mind, some of the decisions that Nintendo does. Someone upload a slight, like, part of an MP3 of a song that they have from a game that is no longer available. I hope they burn in hell.
It's not even a slight bit, it's just one note that's off key.
They've patented the note E.
But yeah, no, this is really, really stupid, and I don't know. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo, and I don't have much more to add on top of that. It's really weird to see them like, yeah, they made all these great systems, and yeah, like you said, you would get protective over it, but at the same time, how much of this is work that you could like feasibly copyright protects? Like they want to patent the ability to code the player character standing on top of something and then moving with that thing moving on its own in the world, like standing on top of a car and then the player character gets affected by the speed of that car moving, and they just get attached to the top of it, sort of thing.
You know what's crazy? Simpsons Hit and Run did that.
I think GTA does that.
No, but I mean car surfing in a game as far back as 2000 and what was Hit and Run? 2?
Yeah.
3? It's already in there. Like you can just stand on a car, and there's even an animation that plays because your character doesn't move.
But it impacts the car, though.
Okay, kick the car if you want. Anyway, it's, yeah, interesting. And as I said before, one side I kind of get it. The other side I sort of hope. Like I think the larger part of me hopes that it doesn't go through, just because, you know, someone like a game feels sort of weird that they would be stifled by Nintendoing all over the place. But what do I know?
Yeah, we don't need Nintendo being more copyright protective of things.
No. But with that, we come to the end of the news section for this week, at least. I can't wait to do it all again next week.
There won't be any Evo news next week, so won't go for that long.
Yeah, no Pokemon either to really bump up that time.
We have an audience question for this week. Bob the Builder says, "Cheerio, boys. In the spirit of Steven's award, you wrote this, didn't you, Steve?"
I did not. Actually, I did not. It was Bob.
Well, some absolute heathen wrote, "In the spirit of Steven's award-winning Patooey." I spit on that. Fast Builders Launch podcast. What's a hobby outside of media consumption you would like to spend more time engaging with? And why don't you currently spend time in that hobby? From your fellow builder, Bob. Patooey. Disgusting. I spit on you.
Was that your hobby?
Spitting on people? Yeah, it
Chewing
is actually.
tobacco.
Pack me up. What's a hobby? Well, it's interesting that they say outside of media consumption. Does that include video games? Because I would almost count that those are two
I'd say like video games, watching movies, reading, anything outside of those.
I would say it's not. I wouldn't say it's reading.
I think reading is.
Give
media.
us your book recommendations, Seth. Give us your book recommendations. You've read books all the time, don't you?
One Piece.
The coloring book. Oh, okay.
I'm reading.
One Piece is real.
Is it? Crazy. Didn't Elizabeth say that?
Like the former queen?
Yeah, Queen Lizzie.
I didn't know you were on such good terms with her that you could call her Queen Lizzie.
What's she gonna do? Smite me?
She'll send Queen Lizzo after you.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a threat. What's a hobby that I have outside of media consumption? I think, so by and large, the two things that I've spent the most time on outside of... Okay, so we're also putting work to one side as well, I assume. But
yeah. Work's your hobby, you got problems.
Well, a lot of people would say that it is, and I already know I have problems. The two things that I've spent a lot of time on, that I have spent time on outside of work, would be producing, like, you know, making dumb films and that sort of thing, just because that's genuinely very entertaining, and programming, which not related to my job, just a genuine enjoy of solving difficult problems via programming stuff outside of work. Those would be my two, and they are super boring. Apologies. I guess the video content one's kind of interesting, but that's me anyway. Seth, your hobbies.
Yeah, so it's one I don't actually engage with at all, but it's mostly because
it's public schools again, isn't it?
Monetarily, I cannot afford to do it because I would need to buy the tools to do it. But
Warhammer.
No. Back in grade 8, I really enjoyed woodworking. So if I had the tools to do it, I would absolutely get into woodworking and actually making like my own shelves for my rooms, or like even like other stupid things like making a body of a guitar or making arcade controllers, and just having a good time spending a weekend doing a woodworking project.
You know what's funny? That hobby puts you at more of a builder than Steve for Fast Builders Lunch.
But he hasn't done it though. I build IKEA furniture all the time. Once a year.
Yeah, but I made something out of wood back in year 8. Have you made something from scratch out of wood?
What do you mean from scratch? Did you plant the tree?
No, I just got the timber.
Well, what's
like
the difference?
Pokemon
I get the
timber.
I get the
No, like the Pokemon Gerdo.
you get a nice steel beam. You put some jet fuel on there to cut it in half.
Wait a second, it doesn't melt.
Actually, just thinking back on mine, when I say producing stuff, I should sort of loosely attach photography to that, because I actually did that last weekend on the only nice day Auckland has had all year. Yeah, photography is fun. Finding the right space to use it.
Yeah, if
anyway,
I'm allowed to get a second one, they're in my closet, but I'd like to pick up.
Oh my god, it is kids, isn't it?
No, I'd like to play guitar again. I don't actively engage with it because I need to find good tutorials to like relearn everything all over again, and I don't know. I just get drained after editing and working, and then there's just certain days where I'm just like, I've sat here for 5 hours and done nothing but watch YouTube videos, and I've wasted my day. I really should have done something else with my time, and those would be like perfect days to pick up the guitar and do something, and it's just hindsight hits me.
This guy who spends 7 hours in a Final Fantasy 16 spoiler cast. Favorite hobbies include woodworking and guitar playing. Who the fuck are you?
You really think you know someone?
See, the thing is, these are hobbies I would like to pick up. They're not hobbies I engage in.
Pick them up.
I'll pick you
The
up.
worst part about it. Ooh.
Oh, hang on.
I live down the road from a school, man. Sorry.
Damn. Do you think you can move about 5 meters away from that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll think about it. What are my hobbies? I don't really have hobbies. I just got a bunch
Being
of...
a fuckwit.
Yeah, no, that's a lifestyle choice, big fella. I just got a lot of stuff that I do. Like I play OzTag.
You clean up after rabbits.
I don't clean up after rabbits. Girlfriend's rabbits are the girlfriend's cleanup job. I do boxing. I really do. I started off boxing for fitness after reading like Hajime no Ippo, the manga series. But I really enjoy boxing. Like I'm not good at it. I don't have that aggressive mentality. And I don't really put like I put
he
the
says
effort in.
After I interrupt him and he threatens to cut off my hands.
You know, boxing doesn't involve knives, right?
Yeah, you're making sure I can't box you.
Yeah, and oh, hang on. And there's like one part saying this online when you're like 40 kilometers away from me, and another thing when like we're punching each other in the head.
Punching each other in the head. I'm going for the kink hit, big fella.
That's illegal. You can't hit someone in the back of the head in boxing. Rabbit punches are illegal. Roughly so. Simply punch me in the face.
No holds barred. No DQs.
No DQs. Get fucked. Bare knuckle boxing. But yeah, no,
I will
really
simply put a horseshoe in my gloves.
What the fuck?
What was it, the Simpsons one where he puts the barbed wire over it? Oh, they call that the stinger.
I think it's the way that he said simply. Like, he has it all figured out. He knows exactly how he's going to put the horseshoe.
And it's like,
I just need to make sure
glove.
that my knuckles are cushioned from the blow.
And it was just like, of all the utilities you can get, you pick a horseshoe, like as if that's freely available to you. Whatever, man.
Meanwhile, there's some poor horse who only has 3 horseshoes.
I'd be kind.
Not 2.
Yeah, I'd be kind. I'd take one from each. I'd take one from each corner. So he's got 2, but he's missing one on his right side and missing one on his left side.
A horse has 4 corners. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, it means the horse is walking around like on a checkerboard.
It wouldn't be like, it'd be like having a leaning table. Like you'd have to put a couple of coasters under him.
Exactly.
Oh, that was, what an insane comment. But yeah, I do that.
I'd end up like that. I'd end up like that guy in Red Dead Redemption 2, but instead of putting the horseshoe on the horse and getting kicked in the head, I'm trying to take it off and I get kicked in the head.
Yeah, go straight through you.
To be honest, some part of me thinks you might have already been kicked in the head if you think you're just going to randomly take 2 horseshoes off a horse, stick them into boxing gloves, and smack Steve in the back of the head in some weird no-holds-barred thing, which I think is only existing in your head, because the moment you walk up and smack him in the back of the head, there's like police involved.
You know what? You're right. I'm not going to pick up boxing. I'm going to pick up kickboxing. Now I won't need those hands that Steven's taken.
Well, you can get a you know what? Doesn't matter.
I can't believe you're going to stream boxing on Kick, Seth. That's such a weird thing to say.
Hold on, maybe I can make money doing that. Then I don't have to ask for money for editing.
You getting it? Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot of time for hobbies. Like, I was tagged Monday, Tuesday, podcast recording Wednesday. Oh no, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons anymore. That's finished up. That used to be on Thursdays. Socializing with friends Friday, Saturday. I was tag training Sunday. Like, I'm a busy boy. But I'm moving down to Melbourne.
Kind of a hobby, I'd say. Like, yeah, you're doing it for exercise, but it's still like socializing with other people and getting out and doing something with your time.
Well, hang on, let's not equate hobbies with going out and doing something with other people, all right? I literally said programming.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, but some people take socializing as a hobby.
I don't know. I can talk to people online. I can talk to my pets if I wanted to. They don't talk back. They don't make fun of me either. So maybe they are the best friends I've ever got. But yeah, I do. Yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a big fan of that. No, video games are my hobby. That's really all I've got.
Yeah. And why don't we spend more time on them? Life.
Still waiting for the girlfriend to agree to self-eat pics.
So sometimes you just want to unwind and then, oh god, the sun's down.
Good, that's the best time to play video games. What are you talking about? When it's like raining outside? Kino.
No, I mean like you sit down at 8 a.m. and you're just like, I'm going to relax for a couple of minutes before I do anything, and then suddenly it's 8 p.m.
I've never done that, no. Sorry, man. All the best, but...
Cool. Well, hopefully that answers your question, Bob the Builder, whoever you are, Steve.
Wasn't me.
If you or someone who has a question that you want us to answer, get in touch. We're on Facebook at Bus Travel Lounge, Twitter /X/ whatever the hell Elon decides it's going to be called next, at Bus Travel Lounge minus one of the L's, the L that was taken by Riot in Project L. Yasuo looks very fun. We're also on good old mailbag, Bus Travel Lounge at gmail.com. If you have liked what you've heard, somehow this has been an absolute train wreck, like I fucking always say for every one of these episodes.
Short episode.
Giving us, very short, giving us a like, a subscription, a rating, a review really helps us out. Please do so on the podcasting platform of your choice. But as you probably guessed, this brings us to the end of episode 85. Anything you want to tease for next week? I don't even know if I'll have time to do anything for next week, but anything from either of you two?
Steven's going to kink hit me because I'm going to spend $55 on Ninja Turtles outfits.
Are you serious right now?
No, I'm not.
Are you being for real?
I'm not.
Steve,
I just wanted to rile you up. And
I literally just put on my Sonic shoes. I was going to run to your house. Nothing could stop me. What have I got on? I started playing Disco Elysium. Fantastic game. And at the risk of setting Seth off, I've also been playing Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
More like based by sleep, am I right, guys?
More like making me sleep, am I right, fellas?
You take that back, mister.
Maybe tune in next week and hear my review.
As for me, I'm going to try and start... Well, by the time this is out, I should have the 16 spoiler cast out as well. So that should free up some time for me to do literally anything else, like get the platinum in Final Fantasy 16 or finish Tears of the Kingdom.
Nice. Cool. Well, everyone has those to look forward to. But until then, I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Seth and Steve. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Up the Matildas. We can beat France. Let's go.